Hello, everyone. We're here for the Dragon Ball Super card game Fusion World Digital Championship 2025-2026 semifinals. And that's a mouthful of a title, but we've got a lot of good content today. And I'm really looking forward to the two matches that we're going to feature for this event.
Yeah, 100%. For those of us joining today, I'm Aspira with my fantastic co-host Eggman, and we've got some phenomenal matches for you today. The Digital Championships has been an ongoing tournament where players have qualified, fought their way through quarterfinals, and now to the semifinals, where we'll be watching both sections play it off for some exciting gameplay to see who will make their way over to the grand finals.
Yeah, and it's a pretty interesting format as well. So it is a best of three. You have to win 2 of your games for it, but also you have to register 2 different decks with 2 different colored leaders. So it means you get some diversity. It means you get to, you have to be better than your opponent with 2 different decks, and you have to exchange them in between games. So it's going to have a lot of variety, and it's going to be cool to see what people are choosing and what they get to the finals with.
Yeah, I love a good conquest format, especially since it really tests players' abilities to be able to play with multiple strategies and seeing how the different matchups with the different colors pair up. So players must win with both of their decks in this best of 3 format. And if you win with one deck, you must then pivot off to the other deck. So potential 3 matches, but we'll see how players play it out.
Yeah, definitely. And again, this will be on the online client for the Dragon Ball Super card game Fusion World. So, George and I have both been able to see the coverage of the game in person in Dallas early this year. But again, being able to have an online client, being able to have these tournaments, no matter where you're at, is really cool. So I'm happy that we're able to present this to you guys.
Yeah, you get to see the flowing animations, you get to see the characters. Dragon Ball is really one of those IPs that comes to life with the characters and how they fight it off one versus each other. So I'm very excited to see how we're going to be seeing those players fight it off today.
Yeah, and I think we should be good to go to our first game. So get sent over there, and let's see what's in our first one there. It's going to be Sumi-chan no Papa, who's going to be playing on Majin Buu and Piccolo Superhero. And who's he playing against, George?
Oop. Sorry, gotta get my documents. I lost my mouse. So we got you Shenron here, rocking the Omega Shenron and Majin Buu deck. So some very popular picks here. I think we definitely see the all-stars of the format facing off here today in this stream. Very interested to see how both players face off. And in this first match, we've got ourselves Majin Buu versus Shenron. And it's always interesting to see, what decks do we lead off with? Because that'll kind of dictate, where am I able to get my sweep in versus what am I going to be able to play against. If I'm the player, let's say the Majin Buu player here was able to win it off and I'm able to get a clean 2-0, well, then I never have to face my opponent's second deck. Whereas the opponent's kind of just sitting there trying to make, Omega Shenron here possibly. So very interesting to see how both players opt to choose to kind of work their way through this.
Yeah, and as you kind of mentioned, the Conquest format is a little bit different. You definitely can have this chance to lead with your weaker deck, knowing that maybe one of the 2 matches are going to be better for it, and then kind of go from there. But yeah, it is really interesting because you do have to win with both of these. It's easy for a reverse sweep from there, and we have an early start from Shenron being able to just play out the 1 drop there, search the top 3, and pass it back to our Majin Buu.
Yep. So for the uninitiated, the Shenron deck aims to load up its drop with a bunch of Shadow Dragon traits. Not only does that allow Shenron to be able to awaken, but also provides the ability to be able to cheapen the costs of a lot of extra cards in the deck and provide extra flexibility for abilities. So not only does Black Shenron help, or Black Smoke Dragon help the consistency, but also allows to throw some cards into the drop and slowly filling up to that condition.
Yeah, and pretty easy back and forth on these first turns, right? We both have our one drops to help us get that card cycle. We did get the attack into the Shenron, and as you mentioned, it does have a unique way to awaken. If you have 6 or less life and you have 7 or more cards with Shadow Dragon in their special traits, you get to flip it over. So no draw, but you do become a 20k leader earlier than most others in the game.
His opponent playing on Majin Buu, and it is. I think it's so hard to be able to pin what kind of deck Majin Buu is. Is it an aggro
Yes.
deck? Is it a control deck? And I think that's the beauty and flexibility of the Majin Buu package, where between the 3-drop SR, you're able to hand control your opponent for a while. So it always feels like when you're playing against Majin Buu, you need to play around 3 different game styles,
Yeah.
which makes the deck incredibly versatile and powerful.
100%. And I think that's part of the reason we've been seeing it do well, right? We kind of had the start of this archetype in FBO4, which came out about a year ago with the original Majin Buu. We're using the manga booster, which came out this summer, kind of an upgraded leader a little bit. People have been kind of playing back and forth, but the whole package itself is very, very good, and being able to take advantage of it is what this Majin Buu has been doing.
Yep, and the impact of the manga boosters cannot be understated. We see the 4-drop Majin Buu in hand there, extremely impactful in terms of resting all your opponent's 5 drops or less and all of their energy, which makes interaction really tough. But thankfully, some of Omega Shenron's interaction here will be free to play, depending on being able to pitch cards. So a little bit of fun interaction between both of these decks here, as we see the Frieza and the Swing try to keep our opponent off of cards on board and keep their life total high for now. No reason to help our opponent awaken.
Oh, interesting. So we do end up just getting the early block. We are attacking leader into the 2-drop there, but and we are also comboing. All right, we do, I guess, force the removal of this Black Smoke Dragon.
So here the Natron Shenron being there, but we can swing our 5k into the 5k. Could potentially force to protect it. But it looks like we are just going to let that go, which we might have wanted to be able to use the activate main on the Natron Shenron, but Shadow Dragon and drop is an additional card to help us awaken.
Yeah, and then we get the Bobbity looking top of our deck. We do get a 3-drop Majin Buu there and passing it back.
So pretty cozy position here for our Majin Buu player. Has a pair of super combos there, so it can comfortably kind of chill out. And we do see the big combos in hand, right? The big spooky double strike into the buff Buu, being able to swing 3 to 4 times for double strike swing. So we've got that let up in the late game, and we'll see kind of how our Majin Buu player will be able to get there in the mid range as we get into Ice Shenron. So on play, if your leader has a Shadow Dragon's traits, you get to place the top 2 cards of your deck known as drop. Then choose a battle card will cost 2 or less your opponent's battle area and place at the bottom of the deck. So empty board here for Majin Buu, which can have its detriments. 3-drop Buu does like having the free 1-drops that are already hanging out on board to be able to proc off its activate main ability. But clear board here, so see how aggressive we decide to go, or if we're just going to leave it at that. It looks like we're going to be playing a bit of a patient game here.
Yeah, I do like this pass here because it does kind of show that we want to get down to 6 or less life as Sin Shenron, so we can awaken. We're forcing it that if they want to draw off their leader attack, it has to go into Omega or Sin Shenron at this moment, unless they have another Frieza, which we do. We also do see the top deck of one of the new promos that we got for this one. It's another Majin Buu 4-drop here, so it's a newer card, so I'll go over it real quick. It did come out with the manga booster too, but if your leader has Majin in his special traits, choose up to 1 battle card in your opponent's battle area and switch it to rest mode, then choose up to 1 rest mode battle card with a cost of 3 or less in your opponent's battle area and KO it.
Alrighty, looks like we are just going to go right into the 4-drop SR Majin Buu. So this does rest cards. Look like we're still going to go for the leader swing, interesting enough here. So we do rest the Ice Shenron, presumably to swing into it with our 6-drop Buu. Went ahead and gave our opponent a card first. And then benefit, this card can't be KO'd by your opponent's skills, but blue does have the ability to be able to bottom deck instead, or bounce back to hand. So
yeah,
do have the tools to still deal with that, but very interesting to see what our Buu player here is. Yep. So swing here is going to take at least a super combo or 2 cards to get out of it, but we do have the Awaken, which does make it feel interesting to know that we gave the Shadow Dragon Leader the ability to awaken and make kind of like a more concerted decision on what he wants to do with this card on the board.
All right. Well, we're gonna pass it back again. It's a pretty slow start, right? We can get some really aggressive starts with some of these decks, right? But the fact that our leader's still at 7 life is Majin Buu, right? I think Omega Shenron gets a lot of value in the late game, so we can kind of make sure to get there a little bit safer as well. But yeah, this 4-drop Buu can be very obnoxious.
Yeah, especially if you want to deal with it the hard way, it forces some very odd sequencing because its on playability is also a when destroyed ability. um,
Yes.
so you have to sequence your turns in a very particular way, or else you just kind of extra turn yourself. So
Yes. Yeah.
it's energy as well, so it does require you to be very careful.
All right. Big
So
think on this one. So yeah, what's your hypothesis?
I think we're just trying to figure out, like, all right, we awaken the opponent, or we can slow them down. We can just draw cards. Um, but the problem is that how long can we play the slow game, right? Before we're in a position where they start playing the 3-drop SR Majin Buu. I think this is the best position for our Omega Shenron player here, is the fact that, okay, he hasn't seen the 3-drop yet. I'm not in a position to just like free discard cards out of my hand for no reason. Um, Here we see the playing the cards on board, being able to bounce the card back in hand. So it's just a question now of at what point do I decide to turn the curve while also keeping my hand low so I don't get super punished. It's a balancing act right now, and I think that's the biggest kind of skill diff that you can see in these matchups as the Shin decides to draw 2 additional cards. Is at what point do we turn the curve without being punished by the explosiveness of Majin Buu? I think is a big deciding factor when playing in this matchup.
Yeah, the only thing I would say, so one, both decks are kind of wanting to get to 5, right? We have the 5-drop Majin Buu. Omega Shenron is a great way to put a lot of pressure. I would have been a little bit tempted to attack with the Nova because we know that they're going to try to play the 4-drop again and get everything rested. So might as well get like a little bit of value from it. But I understand trying to really force them out of a lot of resources, but Boo doesn't really care too. We've got 11 cards in hand thanks to our 4-drop, continuing to get this draw, and Omega Shen was kind of losing that value game right now.
Yeah, and might I say, is one of the crazy to say, but one of the smaller hands I've seen from Boo, because these not getting the additional cards from
Well,
the
there's
3-drop.
3 more cards in life that should be in hand right now too, right? Like it's they get to get a lot of draw, a lot of cycle, and it's a little absurd at times.
So back on over here to 5 energy. Couple of options available here, but does look like we're going to go for the Omega Shenron. So permanent, if you have 7 or more cards in your drop, this card can be removed by opponent's skills, which is fine. Yellow doesn't really care about that. It's usually about stunning cards on board, which the leader can do. We'll see some 35k on 30k action here. So big beefy body attacker. On play does get the ability to be able to find some extra cards as well.
Oh, we're just going to let it go. All right. So we do get an extra draw. There's nothing left to rest because we were spending all of our energy, and we're finally going to let them go down to 6 life.
Yeah, I think it's like, yes, it's a, ooh, well, there it is.
There's a guy.
So I do think there's a world in which it's like, yeah, we lost a good body on board, but I know that my opponent hasn't swung with their leader yet. And this is my opportunity to be able to get that draw in and be able to get my life a little bit closer to that where I want it to be.
Yeah, and there are like ways for us to remove it. We see there's 2 burst attacks in hand too. So if they didn't end up, getting rid of the Boo with the attack, you can use your leader attack with it to just place a 5 or less to the bottom of the owner's deck and get around that removal. So I think it was heads up to say, you know what, let's just let it go, get our draw while we can, because we know that they still have ways to interact with it.
Right. So 14 cards to think about.
Hey, soon to be 13.
True.
But yeah, this is always the quote unquote dilemma that I think Majin Buu. You just have so many choices, right? You got to make sure you make the right one.
Right. And this hand is kind of like a good showcase of how we could be very powerful here. Looks like we are just going to go with the 5-drop, being able to play a Boo after that. But if we wanted to, we could have went with some hand rip options. We could have went with the 2-drop Bobbity to set up some like later in the game defensive options. But it does look like we are just going to go double striker into the 4-drop. Now another beefy 30k on board, a 35k double striker, and a lot of cards in hand to be able to make things happen.
Yeah. So one good thing about keeping Majin Buu on the front side though is that its leader ability interacts really nicely against the Omega Shenron deck, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, the
because
ability
of that,
to keep stuff in rest mode is just super detrimental to the type of deck that's just trying to go haymaker after haymaker.
yeah, because we have a lot of protection for this Omega Shenron, right? If you have 7 or more cards in your drop, this card cannot be removed from your battle area by skills. But the issue is that your opponent is keeping it on the battlefield, just turning sideways.
Yeah, it turns out it's like on the board is my favorite place for your cards to be.
Yeah.
So we are going to go
All
ahead and
right.
defend on the swing. 11 cards to 12, so a little bit of a parity there. But on Awaken on one side, we'll see if we go for the double strike swing here. Or oftentimes, what I see Majin Buu players do with the double strikers is they just let it hang out. They try to get 2 on board. But no, it does look like we're going to take this opportunity to be able to get the swing and force a super combo out of hand at minimum. Do you give the
Yeah, and I
5?
think yeah,
Mm.
and with your hand size, so large, like this extra 5 isn't too big of a deal. But we are going to end up using our Whirlwind Spin. So this is kind of like one of the best cards in this deck too. You can just discard it. You essentially turn it and another card in your hand into a 10k, and you're able to get out of attacks. So really nice there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. No, notably, Sin Shenron or Omega Shenron's ability only happens during your turn. So Whirlwind Spin here,
Yes.
having the opportunity to be able to cheapen its cost on the opponent's turn, very helpful, especially against this deck that will often rest out your energy. Having access to these extra cards, regardless, is always huge.
Yeah, and when you have like so many cards in your hand that are usually just also another events, yeah, the Whirlwind Spin can really help you still get value off of them.
So here we do see the Omega into the 5-drop Majin Buu. Let's see if we juice that up a little bit.
Yeah, I think protecting it makes sense. The other thing is that we don't see, at least I don't see currently, the big minus energy Powerball in hand for our Omega Shenron player, right? This could offer a lot of avenues for pressure right now, but without it, you kind of have to still fight for board a little awkwardly.
Mm-hmm. Able to choose an Omega Shenron and set it to active mode. And then if you have enough cards in drop, which is 7 or more, you would get 20k in double strike. So the 20k here really does do a lot of work in terms of being able to be that free combo that the deck would need to be able to clear our board. 8 cards left in deck. Notably, we do have a few ways to be able to kind of refresh that, but mill out has been much more real, I want to say, in the last couple of formats than they've been in previous formats.
Yeah, and again, we're going to let the 4-drop die. It's going to tap that 1 more energy, and then we're also going to now use the 5-drop effect. Essentially, lets you go into your Omega Shenron, which is nice. And we'll see if they end up using the burst attack to maybe try to force remove this 5-drop Buu.
So back to 15 cards in deck. We're going to go into the Omega Shenron here.
And this is going to draw us 2 cards, so a little bit unfortunate on those top of our deck not having the extra cards that we want. But yeah, we're going to go 35 into 35.
There is a world in which we could like Dragon Thunder to dig for more cards, but
yeah, I think we have to get rid of this. So burst attack will burst attack will let you still use it with your leader attack too, but I think we are just trying to force every card out of hand to try to defend this Majin Buu.
Would you say you're more of a patient Majin Buu player or more of a force the opponent to have to deal with me Majin Buu player?
What a question to ask on a live stream, huh? What kind of player are you? I'm definitely it's the worst player. I'm the hand destruction player. So if I don't have 3-drop Buu on board by 3 energy, what am I doing here? So yeah, I like making it awkward. I like my opponent being on low resources. So I definitely can support kind of this grindier play style that we're seeing.
Right. All right, so we do see the swing and getting rid of the Buu before passing over to the turn. Couple of scary bodies here, and no immediately clean way for Majin Buu to be able to deal with this board here at the moment.
Correct.
We do see one of Majin, the Babidi.
Yeah, that card is very This card recently got hit from 4 to 1. The fact that again it does have hand destruction capabilities means that when I was playing it, it was my favorite card to never draw, and now I feel like with it at one copy, I see it more often, which is bonkers. But I'll see it when I see it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, because it's at one, it's maybe just so much more stark in your memory whenever you do be able to draw it. You're like, yes.
I like high rolling into seeing the one of instead of low rolling and not seeing any of my 4 of. So
exactly
that's definitely the mindset. So but yeah, Boo's got a lot of things we have to one thing is that you don't have to charge every turn. At this point, this is kind of approaching the point where they're also starving you to resources, so a card out of hand can be a little expensive. Again, we don't have to play the big bobbity turn, though it would be powerful at pressing life, but doesn't get rid of any of these 5-drops on the board.
Yeah, and here I presume we do nothing more but just get the draw and see what we can do from there. There's a couple of options, but it's just we are facing a couple 35Ks on board, and if we don't do too much about it, they'll just kind of hang out there, potentially being able to swing into us. But I think Shenron here is feeling very comfortable playing a bit of a slower game, establishing the board, and then kind of going for a big push. So we do see the 3-drop here, and we'll see what we play off of it, and it is the buff Kid Majin Buu.
Yeah, so if this is the case, I think they're going to try to play both of these 3-drops in the same turn and essentially get 4 30k attacks, which can be a little bit expensive for Omega Shenron to try to get out of. So again, just kind of going for that hand control.
Yep, so we do see ourselves super combo out of that. We will go ahead and pop the Bobbity and be able to get our 30k swing. Does get the rip. I forgot about the KO hand rip.
yeah. No, it's a good card. I don't know. So, but so yeah, this is a pretty good, like, again, like just force cards out of hand play. Alternatively, you could have played like 5-drop double strike into 3-drop Bobbity into one of these Boos, but I think pressuring them this way makes the best of your resources this turn.
So we do see the take here. And I was wondering if we were going to go for it, but it does look like we are going to pop the other 30k to be able to get our 4th 30k swing in, down to 4 Shenron here, and it looks like we are going to pull out the Whirlwind Spin.
Yep. And, essentially, this deck gets extra super combos. Technically, we also can recycle our super combos, so we can be really, really defensive, but sometimes you just have 7 extra cards in hand, and you're like, what am I doing? How do I get out of this?
And that's all she wrote for that turn, passing it back over to Shenron, hanging out with 2 35Ks on board, going into potentially 7 energy, though I don't know that we're in a position that we need to start keeping, like you were saying previously, keep pushing that charge at the moment.
Yeah, because it's pretty clear that either player can stop whenever they want to, and the only reason you would charge is if you do end up having a play that that ends up costing 7. Yeah, deciding to not do this turn.
Yeah. So what would be the indicators that our Shenron player here is looking for to be like, okay, now is the time to turn the corner as we go off to play our 3rd Omega Shenron?
Oh man, and I think we've stacked the our deck at this point where we ended up drawing, I think it was 5 cards, which is absurd in this game, right? Any card game, that's absurd. But yeah, that is a lot of value here, and we're at a really scary spot if we're Buu, because we have 3 of these Omega Shenrons. We only have 1 Majin Buu out, and they can press us down to 1-2 life pretty easily this turn.
Go ahead and draw 2 more cards, because the 5 we drew before wasn't enough.
No, we definitely needed a couple more, boys.
1 energy left available. Looks like we are going to take the first step and try and get rid of Buffu here. So that's free. And now I guess we're just feeling pretty good about ourselves. No! Okay.
Not even drawn for... I mean, how many cards do we have? 4 left in deck? It could be a bit of a liability, I guess.
I mean, we did only draw like 8 this turn, so...
I don't know. I'd be okay with putting to the 5. If they self-awaken down to 4, that's just my go-ahead to go for game next turn.
Right. Yeah, I don't disagree there.
All right, we're going to play our 5-drop again. It's going to be our 5-drop Majin Buu. Likely putting out the 4-drop Majin Buu Kid once again, getting the rest of the energy and the other Omegas.
We'll see what the follow-up is here, but only 2 energy and not too many great options. I mean, you could put down the Babidi for a potential block setup afterwards, which could be cute because then you could like block with your 4-drop and then force everything to be in rest mode. So that's kind of that awkward sequencing we were talking about. But at this present time, doesn't really put us in a position to be able to win, which is I think is what we're hunting for as we kind of combo up to our 20 here.
Yeah, you said the word cute. I would say devastating at times, but
it's true.
But sure, cute. Yeah.
I'm a Vegeta player, so it's almost always just do the barrier boo. But the variability of options for the Majin Buu deck definitely can be backbreaking.
Oh yeah. All right, we're going 30k to 20k here. And yeah, I think we'll take this one, and we're going to 14 cards in hand. Likely they won't spend a lot of power on this double strike here, and this is the one we really want to get out of for the turn. So there it is.
Yeah, because even once there's a recognition that once Shenron starts turning the corner, you'll be able to get significantly more cards in hand, but you never want to press so hard that you won't be able to come back from it, even if you're feeling somewhat secure with like 2 super combos in hand. So it's just like, how much do I press to put myself in a win position, knowing that also, you know, that's the last double striker out of my hand until I potentially draw another one. So if my current board gets dealt with, we do not have the most impactful board to go into next turn, assuming that the Shenron deck is able to deal with our current board, which we know isn't too hard for the deck to do. So it's a very precarious position for our Buu player here.
Yeah, and we're waiting here. We are just going to go with the double strike. It's going to be a 45k, so they're going to have to super combo plus 10k out, or use this whirlwind spin as well.
Yeah, so whirlwind get us to 20. Then I'll just require an additional 10k on top of that. We'll be able to clear off this attack. And there we go with the Natron Shenron to get us over that 50 threshold. And that's all she wrote for the turn, unless we want to put down a Babidi, which is probably the play here. Yeah, and then we'll be able to restand our 30k and make it slightly awkward for our Shenron player here.
Oh, we're actually deciding to keep the double strike.
Wow,
interesting.
That is bold. I understand the logic, right? Like, this is my most valuable card. This is the card I need to be able to close out the game based on the cards I have in hand right now. But it doesn't punish the opponent's sequencing as much as a 30k, and that's assuming that they still can't get rid of this card, which, based on cards in hand, we know that that's not totally impossible at the moment.
Yeah, and we discarded the burst attack earlier, which again is one of the few ways that people can effectively address these cards, these boards that are really untouchable in a lot of other matchups. So because it wouldn't be too outrageous to say we play it again, we get rid of like the 4-drop Buu for quote unquote free, and then we can start pressuring a little bit. But curious to see what they decide to do this turn.
Do start with the leader swing. 2 cards left in deck. Draw it into a Shenron. And yeah, looks like we decided
down the line.
Time to turn the corner.
Yeah, I can just feel the Buu button player plus yes. Skip. Yeah, no combos. Yeah,
All right. Does look like we are going to activate our leader ability here.
And we kind of have to play the minus energy power because we need to have more cards in our deck at this point. So that will put 7 cards back in there. It will let us restand our 5-drop Omega Shenron and give a double attack for the turn. And I think they're just deciding which cards they're wanting to put back for the cost at this point.
Yeah, because like you said, you can recycle super combos, but at the same time, it's like, how many of those cards am I putting back in there that I actually want to redraw down the line. So
yeah, and they're put randomly too, so they're not. It's not a case of like you get to stack the order with it either. But
35k swing here, and of note, we are kind of just baiting out these swings as we do have that beefy 55k, which also has double strike.
Yeah,
very notable here. So forcing these early single strike swings is going to force the opponent to have to feel like they have to take on these single strike swings because they need to hold back for the double striker, which is precarious when you also see that Omega Shenron here still has 6 energy available. So it's like, what are they hiding in their back pocket to be a follow-up once I'm dealing with this already very scary board.
And we're going to go down to 3. We've taken more damage in the last 2 minutes than the rest of the game combined, which is at the same time like, oh man, I could have used this extra super combo. Like again, the leader effect from Majin Buu on the backside can be really great in this this matchup. You get to essentially remove one of these Omega Shenrons once per turn by just making it so they can't refresh. So keeping them on the front side I think has really helped the Omega Shenron player.
Yep, and here I think many Buu players come into the position when they recognize like, okay, I'll just take all the life until the last ones that I can't afford to take, and just use this massive hand to be able to go for a big burst turn. Though typically that big burst turn usually involves some of the buff Buus. We know that we already got rid of a bunch of those. Usually involves the double striker, so we're really kind of hoping we don't have to be in a position to use this double striker as a block, because assuming that the Shenron player can't get past it, then it'll be a key tool that we'll need to be able to try to push for game likely next turn.
Yeah, and we do use our first super combo of the game to get out of that. We are just going to hard play the Dragon Thunder there to get a draw 2. Also makes our stuff unblockable too, which is pretty good when you have a big old blocker out there.
And draw an additional 2 cards, back up to 14 cards in hand. Look like we decided we're going to deal with the board instead. Makes sense. Not put our opponent in the position to be at maximum possible cards in hand going into their next turn. All right. That's all she wrote. Like, we're going to just pass turn here and see what this Majin Buu player can do with 7 cards, finally awakened. Will be able to keep one of these cards in rest mode, which is convenient, but that still remains 2 35Ks on board, which are very spooky.
Yeah, if we had something like the 4-drop Son Goku from, I think, FBO2, you would be able to completely stun this entire board, but without that, you kind of have to decide, all right, do I think I can survive next turn, or am I just going to try to go for game? And shoutouts to our Omega Shenron player. Just organizing their hand like that makes it very easy to note that it will be very tough to overcome this 3 life, 14 card leader on the other side.
Love to see a full comboable hand.
Yeah.
We got the 3-drop. Could potentially get rid of a card in hand. Start with a swing here. Do we give it any juice? Because I'm a little bit dubious on us being able to survive another turn. It does look like we go up to 30k here.
And again, this will get either 2 cards in hand, or we're actually just going to take it.
Wow, bold.
Maybe we're just trying to force the double strike.
Yeah, this is 100% the bait. Right? We've been cycling our super combos. We drew 2 at the end of the turn. It's like, hey, go for it. I know my math. You know your math. I don't think you're getting there. And then I'll be able to.
It's so believable too, because you're playing against Omega Shenron. You're like, oh, they're all just Dragon Thunders and minus balls, right? Like, there's no way I actually have probably close to 200k worth of combo in hand.
He's baiting you, so we'll see. Yeah. We'll see what our players ought to do here. And then do note that these tournament clocks do run a little bit differently than they do on the ladder. So players have a set amount of time that they're able to play out each game. So we do have a bit of time management here that we need to be wary of as the players kind of push for. Well, draw some additional cards. I think you have to go for it. The worst part
you got
is
energy. So
yeah, the worst part is when like your opponent's baiting you into these type of plays, and you're like, but I still probably have to do it.
You have to do it. Yeah, yeah.
So there's some, a little bit more sequencing. There is actually a notable amount of cards that we can get to try to help to fix the situation, right? We can go ahead and play these Bibbities. We can follow up with the 3-drop. That could be very useful.
He's very good. Yeah.
We could force a card out of the opponent's hand using the 3-drop boo. We can go into wow. Okay, hold up.
Yeah.
Those
are our 3rd and 4th copies of those cards.
Yeah,
by the way.
this just turned around a lot because now we're in a position where the double strike isn't the only thing we could be doing, because now we have 4 30k swings forcing our way into the opponent. So there are 30k swings that could be much bigger. So.
And I like attacking with this first because it doesn't matter that we pop this with our 3-drop, and so it means that we get all the combo of the cards on our board too. And but we do get the Dragon Thunder effect.
Huge.
Very nasty. Yeah, maybe should have made it a 50k with both those.
All right, well, buff boo number 1.
All right.
I want to say
a minute left on the clock.
Here. Yeah, that's true. We do have to play the clock as well, but we got the 40k swing here. All these 40k swings are 2 cards minimum if we involve a super combo. Whoa! All right, tough position to be in here. Minus energy Powerball, not very helpful. Wow, are we gonna see the turnaround here from Majin Buu?
Yeah, this is all or nothing, right? We've got not a lot of cards in hand, not a lot of time left in the clock either. It's just going to be a 30k, so we do get an easy 40 out of it, but it makes sense because now we can just easily say, all right, we're going to do another 30 and then everything in on this, blast attack afterwards.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I don't know what the best math is. I feel like you still go for 40k swings every time because you force some more cards, but I could be incorrect.
It's tough. I mean, it's like 1 card for 1 card, right? So
sure.
I think with the cards in the Omega Shenron's hand, it doesn't super matter, but because you're
all
going to go all in on this last one.
So we got 40, 45, 55, 65, 70k, 40, 60, 70, 80.
Yeah.
So huge comeback potential here for Majin Buu, but unfortunately did not have the means to be able to push it here. And we are at the point of formalities here. We're going to go ahead and pass the turn. And Omega Shenron is going to go ahead and close out this first game of the semifinals finals.
Yes. And so this is game 1 of the Group B Section 1 finals. So there are 2 sections per group. So we're in Group B, so we do have another match after this. But this is only game 1 of our first match in our first section. So we'll have to see what our Majin Buu player is going to do in the second game as well.
Yeah, 100%. Double strike here to close out the game as our players go ahead and get ready for game 2. And, there are benefits on both sides here where, now the Majin Buu player really just has to beat out the opponent's deck twice, mind you, but at least it's not the Shenron deck, which in itself has some very interesting interactions that kind of work around what Buu wants to do. But naturally, his opponent only has to win 1 more game with one of the decks. So if we're going 50-50 ban for ban here, being the one who's up game 1 very early does benefit, but we do have an opportunity for the crawlback here potentially.
Yeah, and the kind of the big thing too is that Majin Buu is probably one of the most known decks in this format, so you will know how to play against that. I think our Sin Shenron player knew how to play, knew how to keep them at 6 life for as long as they could, get all the value that they could, and then it just made it very easy to defend those kind of final attacks that otherwise would have been kind of devastating in those situations. So we do know that our Mega Shenron is going to be going to Piccolo Superhero, which is my current favorite deck in the format right now. It's a really cool kind of ramp deck. We do get to show off the new Son Gohan Superhero, which is a fantastic 8-drop, and looking forward to seeing how this goes against Majin Buu for this one.
Yeah, it's one of the faster ramp decks, which is nice. It doesn't take long for it to accelerate into where you can start dropping your 8-drop over and over and over again, which is very necessary because naturally, when needed, Majin Buu can go very aggressive, which can be an uncomfortable position for slower decks. All right. So here it
my
looks like
apologies.
we've got the mirror.
Sorry, my apologies. The Majin Buu player also is Piccolo superhero. My apologies. So it is.
I see.
Yeah. I was looking. I was too giddy for Piccolo. I'm like, it has to be that. My apologies.
All right. For the uninitiated, Majin Buu is a yellow deck.
Yes, yeah. And for the record too, they are playing the same version of it. There are 2 Majin Buu leaders that are running around.
Yep.
Again, this is the one from SBO1, and we did see that there is just a lot of interaction where you can rest things. You want to be able to be awakened, but your opponent's not awakened, and it is going to be kind of tricky to get advantage in a mirror match like this one.
Yeah, the mirror match is very. It's a lot of staring at each other until things stop staring really, really fast.
Yes.
Especially if they're in a position where they start dropping the 2-drop Bobbity early on, because now you're like forcing your opponent to have to see the Buu to be able to rest things down. So, because both decks know how explosive they can be, and they don't have defensive tools, but both decks at one point or another will be in a position to be able to have massive amounts of cards in hand. This is where the 3-drop Buu is like huge, because now you're just playing a tug of war game back and forth of who is able to rip more cards out of the opponent's hand, and then like, oh, they have a 3-drop Buu, now I have to spend a turn prioritizing that Buu before it rips even more out of my hand. So it is a very, very interesting back and forth in terms of both players know what they're doing. They're doing very similar things, and both things that they're doing can be very devastating to the opponent if left unanswered. So it's who puts the threat down first, and then how does the opponent respond immediately. Here, we had the opportunity to even just play any of our 1-drops for a cycle, and we just opted not to.
Yeah, so real quick, one, I really love this format because we do get the full card knowledge. We don't normally get that, even in person, right? We have to, sometimes squint at the cards or try to find them. But what we can see is that they are deliberately not playing anything, and the reason for that is because they want them to only be able to attack your leader. We have these 1-drop Yamus, right? You can play it for 1, draw a card, but it's pretty open knowledge that both players are playing the 1-drop Frieza, the 1-drop Majin Buu that is able to get the rest, and that will let you attack into a 1-drop without helping further your opponent's awakened condition. So it looks like our Yu Shenron though is gonna say, you know what, I need some value. We're gonna play 2 1-drops, the Yamu and the 1-drop Bobbity, and say, if you have Frieza, if you have the Majin Buu Pure Evil, go for it. At least I was able to get a couple of cards.
Yep. And in a world where you don't have that, well, I've got this sneaky 3-drop in hand that's going to be able to get me an additional card draw, rip a card out of hand. So the whole game rotates around like how passive versus how proactive do I want to be, and both strategies have some very, very rewarding benefits to doing one or the other, because the explosiveness of the deck can come from anywhere. So while you can go fast, you're not necessarily in a position where you have to, as we see the 3-drop Majin Buu Kid here being played. 25 crit.
We're just gonna instantly take that. It feels bad, but we're gonna have to just respect it. The other thing is that we have 3 4-drops in our hand too. What did we hit? A super combo?
Yeah. No, we hit the 4-drop Goku, which isn't insane, but
Goku.
is like has its utility for sure.
For sure, yeah. Not a 1-drop Yamu. We would have been okay with hitting the drop there.
So
but
we
now,
go.
This is difficult though, because if we answer this, it can bring out one of the 4-drops out, which can just end turns, right? Whenever it's played, your turn, your opponent's turn, you get to rest all energy and all battle cards with a cost of 5 or less. So that can be very tough to interact with, but at least it gives us a target to attack into and not help awaken them too.
That is true. Some people would call the play of the 4-drop a cute play.
Yes.
I don't know who those individuals are, but as we see the 25k here, and now this is the very uncomfortable position that these matchups end up in, where it's like, oh, okay. So now there's this 25k. It is netting my opponent additional cards off of like cyclers that already netting cards. It is forcing cards out of my hand, and if it goes unresponded, it'll do it over and over and over again. So now I need to question, what am I going to do about it? Oftentimes these decks can run Final Explosion. Here it does look like we're just going to have to rest mode it, combat into it, and hope that we're able to get through. But thankfully, by defending it, maybe you balance out the amount of cards that were taken out of your hand because of it. So.
Yeah, and if you let this 3-drop go unchecked, it can get you so much card draw and be very tough for your opponent to interact with. Essentially, it kind of forces a battle without actually entering a battle because you're making your opponent discard cards. But we do have this 4-drop here, and now we're going to get a lot of pressure on this board. Yeah, our leader into the 1-drop Bobbity to get the card draw. Very easy there.
You think we give this any cards, or we just try to see if the base values are able to get us there?
That's such a tough decision because it does.
It is always so tough.
Gets us more draws, right? The fact that this, we now have cards that can pressure this instead of, I don't know, like letting us awaken is tough. There's been a lot of decision making in the past couple weeks where do we play Self Awakeners and Boo, or do we just get enough value otherwise? And yeah, we are just going to let it go, and now they have to decide if they want to attack with this 30k, which I'm going to guess they're just going to let it stay.
Yeah, I think that this may just be a pass turn, because if we were going to swing on the opponent, at the very least we would have went with our crit attacker into the leader and kind of do the inverse.
And we do see the one of Bobbity on the other side, so that's a good omen. You definitely can be a mirror match breaker if you see your Bobbity and they don't.
Makes your burst play even burstier as we do go into the 5-drop here, likely just going right into the 4-drop. Drawing for another double striker, and now looks like we're going to do a bit of board cleanup. Interesting.
Yeah. If you're doing this play, yeah, okay. This does kind of lose out on an attack because it will rest the 4-drop still, but it's fine, I guess.
Yeah,
at least you get rid of the 4-drop.
Yeah, because you had to threaten. How do I put this? You had to threaten the ability to be able to attack into it a second time.
Yeah, because if you attack their 3-drop, they're just going to play another 4-drop off their trash anyways. So
right,
you wouldn't want to be pressuring that. I guess the only thing, yeah, you'd attack 30k into 30k first to see if they save it, and then if you don't, you attack 35k. But
yeah, but that's
it's the same. Yeah.
So we got 30k, 35k on board. We only have a 25k, which is a good stat line, but naturally doesn't contest the board without costing us cards in hand. So we will start with the swing there just to be able to draw ourselves an additional card. 5 energy in hand. We're just going to let that pass. We draw into another 3-drop.
I think this entire series, it's just, Sumi-chan no Papa being like, I have the golden art of the Majin Buu leader on the other side. Please let me show it off. I want to show off what this leader does. And our opponent on the other side saying, nah, the front side's good enough. I'm going to leave you just sitting there at 6 life for most of the series.
Big fan of me being awakened and you not so much.
Yes.
So the call, right? It's just how slow do we play? The thing is that hurting right now for Sumi-chan is this no great answers in hand. We could play the 4-drop and try to contest 30 into 30, but that doesn't put us in an amazing spot. Wow. Okay. Looks like we're just gonna apply pressure.
I have the golden one. Let's see if you have the golden one. That's the next
True.
question.
So we are going to be able to awaken now, which is very spooky. But I think recognizing here that my opponent's going to play this as slow as possible, so I need to be the aggressor. We're kind of both chilling in the same kind of hand-sized position, so hopefully I'm just going to be able to temper my way into putting my opponent in a comfortable position.
Oh, we do have the golden one. All right. Confirmed.
Oh. It's going to be a take. 3 life. But the deck does not mind going a little bit low because of the hand size it can generate. And I think we're still in a quite comfortable position here for you, Shenron. Just in that, I have the stronger board. I have to sequence a little bit awkwardly because of this 4-drop, but now I'm awakened. My opponent doesn't have threats that are impossible to deal with as I go to 14 cards in hand.
Yeah, and again, I don't think we've used the leader effect of Majin Buu Evil once, and it wasn't super impactful. But now we get to do man, just a lot of value.
Yeah.
2 back-to-back is insane here, and we could pressure them down to low numbers really quickly.
And this is one of the more powerful things that Boo is capable of doing, in that it has the ability to just load up this board and then give the opponent very little opportunity to be able to do anything about it, just because of the versatility of what it can do. And it's like we've got like 10k galore in the hand going on right now for you, Shenron, between the freezes and everything. So whereas for Sumi-chan here, we're just chilling on, like, at best we could play the 4-drop. Maybe we could like lose a card, but now the board is getting so scary that you're just like, okay, I guess I just have to keep being the aggro deck and pray.
Yeah, it really is like that, right? And you know, it was unfortunate the sequencing that it's what we had to do, but the sequencing of like we have to play our energy and then get rid of the 30k, and that does rest the 2 things that we just played. But at least we have cards on board, and generally, you know, in the mirror match, whoever has more cards on board is winning it. I definitely think that's our Yu Shenron right now.
Yep. We do have our 15k swing here. Presumably, if we're doing that, well, I guess see if we're going to give it a little bit of juice to be able to at least force a card out of the opponent's hand here. They draw into a buff Boo. That definitely helps.
So we're staying at this. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be very tough because again, like we can play out bodies, right? I think this 3-drop Majin Buu is actually pretty nice because I believe it can KO our other Majin Buu, and then you can use the effect to play a 4-drop. So that does offer some pressure.
You'll be able to get a draw there and everything. We're going to draw. Force a card out of our opponent's hand, be able to get the 4-drop down for free. So good pressure all around.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be, we can discard any card in our hand and then play any 4-cost as well that we want. So it looks like we are just going to discard, I think we did discard a 4-cost that was in our hand. So there's an extra draw. It is played rested, so we can't attack with it, but at least we got a little bit more value.
Being able to draw into another card. There was a world in which potentially you could have drawn into like the 2-drop Abadi, and that would have like slowed things down for the opponent. Did not. But we do still have the buff Boo potentially here to be able to kind of get in some on that 30k pressure. We do have 6 life. Mind you, facing into 2 double strikers, but
yeah, 2 and 2 30ks, yeah. All right, we're playing another one, which we'll still be able to get some good card draw. If you want to, you can pop your 4-drop again and get another card draw and make them discard 1. So I do like this hand destruction route that we're taking.
Yeah, knowing that we need to be the aggressive player here and saying that I'm going to do so in a way that because of this 3-drop Boo, I'm always costing 2 cards out of your hand. Kind of forces you in a position where you need to turn the corner a little bit earlier than you would have been comfortable with because of the disparity between our hand sizes. And if that goes the right way for Sumi-chan, then we're in a position where the opponent's forced to awaken us, we have the hand size to defend, and we can turn the corner on a big closeout turn following that. So, in a perfect world, we'd need to find another double striker to be able to make that happen, but we can definitely get there with a set of buff Boos if necessary.
Yeah, and we do have access to, again, a good amount of draws. We did keep the 4-drop around, which I do think is correct because we want to make sure to, you know, if they try to get rid of it, we can, again, tap them out next turn, so they have to respect it again. And we did get, you know, a good amount of cards out of our opponent's hand, which is nice.
Yep, we do have another double striker 5-drop here, though, for Yu Shenron, if they decide that they're going to need that additional pressure. Let's see if we go for another board control turn or decide that now's kind of the time we start pushing it.
I feel like you kind of can start pushing it, but at the same time, this game is, you know, the way that it's designed, the way that you go back and forth, by getting someone closer to losing, you're giving them more and more resources to try to, you know, win on the next turn. So you have to be really careful on your sequencing a lot of the time.
Yep. We do have to be considerate of the amount of cards that we're giving our opponent, especially since if we do decide to go the board control route for you, Shenron, here for this turn, it's not a bad spot to be because we have our leader ability, so we have to put less effort into controlling this board, especially when we're talking about like the 4-drop here. So we will just get our swing and draw it into Yami here.
Here we go, 35 to 25k to try to force the removal. Do we play another 5-drop? We can also just keep this 4-drop rested with our leader effect.
Yeah, I guess the question on that is like, what is my opponent's ability to be able to keep my stuff in rest mode going into the next turn? If I try to just see if I can deal with it before having to use my leader ability. However, it does look like we are just going to go ahead and give it a little leader ability here, keep it in rest mode. And then what, we continue setting up our board with the 3rd double striker?
So either there's 3 options in my mind. One, we just keep them at 6 and make more cards on board, which we're immediately not doing. We can also, I wouldn't be upset to like at least hit them down to 5 at this point. Oh, we're going like max value.
Yep, we're just going to keep drawing infinite cards here. So what our opponent was doing to us, now we're in a position to be able to do it back to them. So we're going to be able to get rid of a card in hand, be able to draw a card on us. Just a 2-card swing for effectively doing almost nothing.
Yeah.
Now we're closing that gap where my board is bigger than yours. I'm awakened after the resolution here of Boo will be at 10 cards to 11 cards. Whoa.
We're actually going to get rid of one of the 4-drops. Okay, we feel like the draw from the 4-drop is important enough for us to get that.
Sure. I guess we're in a position now where I need as much combo power as possible because, I mean, there's value in playing safer here, right? Like, I'm giving my Boo opponent, I'm giving my opponent the opportunity to be able to go into me while I'm at 3 life, while they're potentially going to 7, which could be like, you know, double striker, buff Boo, and the card disparity here might make a difference, while I, at the time, only had 1 super combo.
Yeah, and it did draw us a 2nd card, which ended up being our 3rd super combo, so that is quite good. And yeah, we're going to keep them at 6. Again, I would love to hit them down to 5, and I'm sure their opponent would love that too, but we're just going to commit to it. And we have like the perfect top deck off Sumi-chan, another double strike Boo.
Yep, so knowing that we have to be the aggressive deck, because our opponent just has all the control at the moment, that is the best way to be able to apply pressure. But I mean, we saw it last game, did we not? Where it's just like, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, please. Yeah. Oh no, please stop. So, but we do have some pretty good plays here. So what we can do is that we can play the 5-drop Boo into either of the 3-drops. If we do that, we can pop the 4-drop Boo, which will rest every card on board, including these 1-drops that have the combo power, and we can really try to press some damage.
And potentially still have the life buffer where we don't feel too terrible. Granted, we are facing 2 double strikers. Sumi-chan doesn't know this, but potentially the 3rd double striker into the
3rd one.
Boo.
Yeah.
So big board. We don't have the board control tools though, so we do just kind of need to be in a position to be the more proactive player here. A lot of time left on the clock for both players, however, to consider these plays, and you know, having all that time in these later turns where it'll be like game result determinative, I think is a good spot to be in. So kudos on both players for playing at the earlier turns rather quickly to be able to buy themselves this time they need in the second half of this game.
Yeah, and this is tournament point 2. So like, if Sumi-chan loses, they're done for the day. So you know, they do have a little bit of a moment to consider. All right, what's my best path forward? How do I get there? And we'll think about what we do here because we're still thinking on charge, I believe.
Yeah. So and right now, there's a lot of math to be done, right? All right, my opponent has 11 cards in hand. I have to check their drop, see if they've gotten any super combos in there. Okay, no. Now, not only did I math out the best possible math for what my opponent has combo-wise in hand, but it's like, okay, how much damage can I dish out to try and be able to get there? So very arithmetic-heavy turn here, going into what Sumi-chan's probably hoping for is the game-winning swings.
Yeah. So I think the other thing to consider is that, you know, what 3-drop do we play? And by charging our other one, oh, we're actually going to play the 4-drop. Interesting. So this is, again, this is a new promo. This just came out with SBO1, and let me confirm exactly how it works, because it is one is a 4-drop, which is great for the ability of our leader, but it says if your leader's margin is special traits, choose up to 1 battle card in your opponent's battle area, switch to rest mode, then choose up to 1 rest mode battle card who costs a 3 or less in your opponent's battle area and KO it. So we were able to rest and get rid of the Majin Buu on the other side, which is nice, but it does mean that we're not doing as much pressure as I think we could be doing in this spot.
Yeah, I think here we're valuing, like, kind of playing the middle ground of I'm going to get cards out of my opponent's hand. I'm unlikely to get there, but at the very least, with this play, I can apply some pressure, get the card disparity. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that this play is kind of indicating that I'm working towards trying to lessen the gap in hand size and the impact of that hand size, because if I leave the 3-drop there, knowing that this turn is unlikely to go because we spent, you know, the last 2 minutes kind of mathing out our opponent's hand, at the very least, we can get rid of the card that's giving them an additional 2-card swing, getting them a card, costing us a card, while we're swinging to try to force some combo out of hand. Here we did see the combo of the cards off the board, so no impact at hand yet, but see if we can't lower that hand size. Opted out of it, now let's do some board cleanup.
Yeah, and I mean, the hand, I mean, they have more cards in their hand, they have more you know, and about the same amount of impactful cards on board too, but it's pretty close, and you know, you do have more life. That's really your only benefit right now, but it's even still hurting you. You would be very happy if you're at 4 life right now instead. Right,
because, you know, right now Shenron being able to use that leader ability is saving him, what, a super combo every turn almost.
Yeah.
So it just being awakened while, like, yeah, you don't have the life buffer, it's just saving you on so much, like, very specific math in terms of how much you need to account for defensively.
Yeah, but also, like, you're getting out of, like, these 15k attacks aren't doing anything. You're forced to commit another card. We do play the 2-drop Majin Buu good, so when attacking, if your leader has Majin in a special trait, choose up to 1 rest mode battle card, costs 5 or less in your opponent's battle area, can't switch to active mode during your opponent's next turn. So that does, you know, it's a bootleg version of your leader effect, right? But again, you much rather be away from here.
You know, not having to deal with one of the double strikers is always nice. Technically, if they attack into that Buu, it's almost like it had blocker also.
Yeah.
We'll see 35 on 35 first, and we'll see how hard our players here are going to force to try to maintain the board.
Yeah, with them only having 1 double striker, you're like, okay, cool. I'll just use my leader effect again, and now I'm not afraid of it next turn. So, and then I have to, again, this card just came out with the 4-drop. It's only on play, so it's not an on attack or when attacking effect. So if it stays around, you're not too worried about it getting more resting and more, you know, KO. Yeah, we're just gonna let the 35k double strike go.
Wow. And notably here, we did opt to not take the life with the Majin Buu good, because we do have an on-play optional take life. So looks like we're just comfortable saying I'm just the guy with the high life total and I just need to use that buffer, but we do lose just about the entirety of our board here. Leader ability will be able to keep the Majin Buu in rest mode as we play out another 5-drop going into
not great targets, I'll be honest.
Yeah,
looks like nothing.
Yeah. Just value the super combo, just get the double strike on board. 3 Majin Buu double strikers hanging out on board now.
Yeah, I think the only thing is that we could have played the Majin Buu good, I believe, right? Potentially.
Could have.
Is that right? Let me make sure that there isn't the traits
Well,
that we can play, right? Is it anything with Majin? So yeah, so we could have done that.
Or
so.
the promo Evil, I believe that we see in hand here for you, Shenron, also.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we could play our own 4-drop with that. Because it would have at least prevented the... You could have stunned the 4-drop, but I guess we're just removing the board anyway, so we don't really mind that.
Yeah, I mean, we had our full rested energy. All of our other battle cards were already in rest modes. It's like, if this gets through, cool. It's one less thing I have to worry about. It nets you a card, but it's a clean board going into the next turn. Which relinquishes my leader ability to be able to use a different target depending on how much you press the board. Because here, Yu Shenron knows that Sumi-chan is in a position to have to apply pressure, but not a ton of cards in hand to be able to make that happen. I mean, you have the 4-drop, we've got the buff blue in hand, but everything else is really just there for utility. So we're in a bit of a tough position where we're just trying to dig for anything that's going to be able to allow us to pressure.
Yeah, and we're not even respecting the 1-drop play there. We can still do like 3-drop Bobbity into Boo into 4-drop to get some. Ooh, another 3-drops. Actually, that's huge.
Yeah, I think here we might just be going for some 3-drop beatdown. Could potentially go back to back. Do have the 3-drop Bobbity.
With the second one, yeah, this could actually be enough to go and tempt game, actually, which is huge.
Go into the 3-drop, swing, force an additional free card out of hand. Because of the 3-drop. Oh, no. All right, looks like we're just going to keep on playing some board control.
Oh, we're taking the life this time. Okay, interesting.
Huh.
I mean, I guess the theory is that so they don't put us from 6 to 4? I don't know. If I didn't take the first one, taking the second one is a bit interesting to me.
Yeah, I agree. Because I guess the math ends up the same, that you still had 2 double strikers the first time versus the second time, and now you know that your opponent has 3 on board, so there's no surprises. So it's not like you're getting hit with... I mean, I guess potentially there could be a 4th one, but you're not getting hit with like double strike Boo into buff Boo. So the math is a little bit easier on trying to figure out how much you need to get out of.
Yeah, I don't know. 4 30k attacks. In theory, sounds pretty good.
It is pretty decent. Potentially here just trying to dig for a double striker.
Yeah, we haven't seen any 2-drop Bobbities for either player this game, which can help the matchup a little bit, but we're just going to keep drawing off these Bobbities here.
So Bibbidi finds the 3-drop, Bibbidi finds the 2-drop. Whoa!
Another 2-drop, okay.
Yeah,
that helps.
Yeah, because like now we can keep something else in rest mode. We can awaken. We can use our leader. Can we?
We do not. We need a 4 cost on there.
Yeah, no. But it's almost like we use right bargain leader ability.
Yeah. I want to feel like there could have been maybe like a slightly better way to sequence that, but we're still like at least finally awakened now. We do get like a 20k. We do get rid of 2 double striker attacks next turn. Spoilers, there can definitely still be 2 more next turn too. But we're optimists over here.
We do have the fourth guy right there in hand, so I'm gonna spruce up our hand, go as high as we can with 9 cards left remaining in deck. And in the past,
the Bobbity is deceptive on what it finds sometimes. You feel like you can never miss with it, but it doesn't hit your 5-drops, which is pretty tough.
Yeah, that is definitely
or Bibbidi,
curious. Right. Okay, well, one of the things that this does, right, is it now gives you Shenron the permission to be like, okay, I can swing leader now. Especially knowing that you don't really have to deal with a threatening board. Like, all right, leader ability, keep one of those guys in rest mode. I could get rid of it if I had to. Potential just leader swing into a good Boo. Doubt you save it, though maybe you do. But now I just have free reign to be able to swing, knowing that I also have the 5-drop in hand to be able to get another double strike swing if necessary.
Yeah, because you get to do a pretty nasty turn next turn for Sumi, because you get to with 8 you can play 5-drop Bobbity into the 3-drop and then play another 3-drop, so you can get a lot of pressure next turn.
Yep, this is definitely one of those benefits of having played as slowly as Sumi-chan has. Is just like, okay, I actually have infinite energy, and like being able to drop 5-drop Boo, play a buff Boo, followed by hard casting another buff Boo is like incredibly powerful.
Yeah. Honestly, I would have taken it at this point. I'm like, you know what?
I just need the cards.
I just need the cards. I know that next turn is probably going to be my last turn. Yeah, now they're getting rid of the board.
Yep. I know that I'm unlikely to get another turn after this. If I can't win next turn, so I might as well just take the card.
Yeah. Right. Kind of similar situation as last game, right? We're backs on the wall. We have to go for it. A 3-life leader on the other side. Our opponent is very good at finding their super combos, so you gotta really respect that.
Yeah, we're gonna give this a 10, or are we just gonna leave it as is? I think I would have given this a 10. Maybe my math is off, but we do have an incredibly powerful lineup of plays here, where it's like double strike Boo, buff Boo, into potentially a buff Boo again after that. So a very spooky position here now for you, Shenron. This is kind of the turn that we've been trying to avoid the whole time. And we do have the big powerful plays here. Okay, interesting. So we're gonna opt out. I mean, I get it. It's like, hey, I'm gonna lose out on one attack, but I'm gonna force 2 cards out of the hand before you're in a position to feel like you can just combo them away. I can respect this.
At some point, it's like, yeah, the thing is that the 3-drop like forces a super combo to 1 card in your hand to get rid of, but
yeah.
I think this is still fine.
I think we're not going to 30k.
This is definitely a 30k though for me. I would not go because there's just so many 10ks on the other side.
Yeah, because like that was like your 5k there could have made that difference. I mean, we go into buff Boo now. I guess you could use the 5k on the 35k swing and it kind of balances out there, but it's definitely a tough position here. 30k swing on the lead.
Keeping it 30.
It's a clean super combo.
And this is where the math becomes a little tough, but I mean, we have essentially the best hand we could really ask for at this point, right? 3 super combos, 2 10ks.
As good as it gets for this deck.
Yeah.
4th super combo off the life?
I feel like we used one already.
I do feel like we potentially could use one, yeah. But a lot of think here. Because like the opponent, all right, we're baiting for it. Pop, get the combo, power, and then just go in, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to, you can. I think you have to go in. Like, if you want to be cheesy about it, you just go 30k, and if they take it, we're just going to go double strike just outright. Yep. Yeah, we're going to put everything in there. Be like, if you have it, you have it. 45, 55, 65, 70, 80, 90, asking for 75k worth of combo, and I think we have that.
I do believe we're there. 80k with just the super combos alone. 90k slow rolling our opponent.
Oh man, I mean, there's some decision, right? There's some decision. Oh man.
All right, so close here, but still having 1 card left in hand. Once again, you Shenron pulling the bait, saying, "Yeah, go for it." And having the super combo every time. We're back to our formalities here. 4 double strikers on board here.
Yeah,
for you,
one of these is gonna connect, right? Like there's no doubt.
Yeah, we got a swing here, crit.
Oh, there's the 4 super combo.
Yeah. If these 4 guys aren't getting through.
Yeah. Just do a casual 45 and double. I have 3 more. So, all right, you Shenron. Really a clean sweep, and really like showing off the power of making sure that your opponent doesn't have all the resources online, just making it very frustrating to play at 6 life as well. And they're the winner on the Group B Section 1 finals for our semifinals weekend.
Yeah, 100%. Congrats to the players. We saw, some fantastic sequencing on both ends. We see the power that is the Majin Buu deck, but also the versatility of something like the Shenron deck and the way that it interacts with the opponent. So I think we saw some great back and forth. We saw these players playing at the high skill level that got them to this position. No easy feat making their way all the way through to the semifinals of the championship series. And I think these players are lined up to have a phenomenal run going into the grand finals later through the year.
Yeah, and so and this also kind of marks the end of like FBO 7 and SBO 2 in it. We do have a new set coming out next month, FBO 8, and I think we've got a little bit of a teaser for you guys for some cards from that one as well. So I think we're going to cue that up. We're going to take a tiny break, and then we'll get into our other finals match there. So let's check out the video for FBO 8.
All right, and welcome back to the Dragon Ball Super Card Game Fusion World Digital Championship 25-26 Semifinals special broadcast, everybody. I'm Mr. and with me is my phenomenal co-host, Egg. And we just came back from a phenomenal finals and going to be jumping into another one very shortly.
Yeah, but before we do, we have a couple of reveals and a couple of announcements that I'm really excited for. This is the semifinals for this, so we do need a finals, and it's going to be the Dragon Ball Super card game at the Battle Hour 2025-26 here. So we do have it in 2026. Ticket sales will be live on January 25th at 9 a.m. PST, and you guys don't want to miss it.
Yeah, 100%. This will be a fantastic celebration of all things Dragon Ball. It is a show that we look forward to every single year. And for our Dragon Ball card game fans, this is where we'll be seeing the crowning of our World Championship. So you will not want to miss it. Make sure to be there for all of that excitement.
Yeah, and not just the digital stuff that we're doing, but the physical card game as well. We're going to have both finals. But before we get there, we do need some new FB08 cards. And we've got 5 SRs to reveal the English versions of that are coming up in this next set, releasing on December 12th.
Yeah, 100%. We have 5 beautiful SRs from every color here. And we'll go ahead and jump into the details of each one so you know exactly what they're going to be doing. So kicking it off first, we've got Son Gohan Adolescence coming out of Saiyans Pride FB08. 3 cost, 25k power card, Saiyan Earthling as he is. With an on play, you get to add a battle card from your life to your hand. Then play up to 1 battle card with a cost of 2 or less. That includes Sun in its card name to your hand, and it can't attack for the turn. Synergizes very well with the Sun family that we're going to be seeing as a whole archetype for this set, with an additional auto that when this card inflicts damage with an attack, draw 1 card. Oh, did you happen to draw a card from my swing? Well, I would like to draw one as well.
Yeah, and this is really cool. Red's always been kind of like this aggressive, this potential for additional burn damage. It goes really well with their Son Gohan Adolescence leader as well. There's ways to buff up this attack to make it even larger as long as we have more Sun cards out. So this playing another one is already really nice. And you can get some really aggressive pressure with this deck now with the Son Gohan Adolescence.
Yeah, 100%. We love to see these cards. Fantastic 25k stat line is a great place to be in kind. With the next card here, which is Kale, which is a 4-drop, another 25k. Saiyan Universe 6 Tournament of Power. It's very interesting to see Tournament of Power in another color with the on play. Play up to 1 battle card with a cost of 3 or less and Tournament of Power in its special traits from your hand. Then you can play Kale with a cost of 4 for the turn, balanced out with a when attacking. If a battle card in your battle area is returned to its owner's hand during this turn, this card gets 10k power for the battle, making it a beefy 35k swing.
Yeah, and this really, has a lot of synergy with this deck in general. It's kind of like this tag team mechanic where you're able to put stuff out, bring it back with your leader effect, get other cards out. You also do kind of have like some Potara action going on with Khalifa as well. So we do have a 3-drop in the set that lets us go into has a lot of synergy with this Kale, and definitely one of the centerpieces, I think, for this deck moving forward.
Yeah, 100%. Love to see them being able to explore these different archetypes in different colors as well, which opens up for a lot of interesting future design space. Jumping into green, we've got Great Ape Son Gohan. You want to break it down for us, Egg?
Yeah. So Green's whole thing is kind of like this Greatest Showdown with Turles, right? And it has this permanent. If you have 2 or more cards with Greatest Showdown in their special traits in your battle area, you get to reduce the cost of this card in your hand by 2. And when KO'd, you get to play up to 1 Son Gohan Youth with a cost of 2 or less from your drop. So one of my favorite things about this game is that they do a lot of like anime lore in their cards. And so when you KO this Gohan, he just goes back to his his non-monkey form. So that's some really cool synergy with it. And being able to play at a 30k for reduced cost is going to be very powerful, I think, in this set.
Yeah, 100%. The game designers do a phenomenal job of being very thematic. If you pay attention to the card effects, a lot of them kind of really keen in. You're talking about that with the tag teaming that we're seeing with the Tournament Power cards, and here we're even seeing it with the Great Ape. And, from a playability standpoint, the fact that you get rid of a body, I produce another body is something that is incredibly powerful. We saw that in our match earlier today with the 3-drop going into the 4-drop and how that really messes with your opponent's sequencing. And we just get even more of that power here.
For sure. And with kind of the more tag teaming thematic too, we can go to the next card as well. We do have Vegeta Youth. So on play, when attacking, you get to choose up to one battle card with cost 4 or less in your opponent's battle area, switch to rest mode, and then activate main once per turn. If you have a battle card with a cost of 5 or more and Saiyan in its special traits in your battle area, you can switch this to active mode. So one, this can attack more than once per turn. Vegeta Youth's effect when attacking is not once per turn, so you can get those, double resting. And we have a Nappa in this set that is a 5-drop Saiyan that says if your leader's Broly, you get to play up to one Vegeta Youth with a cost of 2 or less from your hand. So really kind of sets up this play in this nice little 2-card combo.
Yeah, it is a nice swing away from kind of what Yellow has been doing for a bit. We've seen kind of this similar like restand-ish type abilities previously with things like Majin Vegeta. So now pivoting this into a more archetypal strategy in which we get the benefit of being able to play out these bodies, get out these swings, and punish our opponent is going to be a nice shift over from the more kind of Majin-oriented strategies that we've been seeing in Yellow. And then hopefully these will be able to kind of push this deck into a different angle. I think there's a lot of excitement for the Broly deck and what it can do. As we pivot over to our final card in the booster pack of Saiyans of Pride, we've got the 4-drop Son Goku. It's a 4-cost, 5k power, 10k combo with Goku's lineage. On play, you get to add a card to from your life to your hand. We do love our Self-Awakeners. And it has the activate main once per turn. You get to switch this card in a battle area to rest mode. If you have a card with cost of 5 or more and Goku's lineage in its special traits in your battle area, play up to one non-Son Goku battle card with Goku's lineage in its special traits from your drop. So this whole strategy playing into the entire Son Goku line. It kind of plays this nice parallel to the red version where we're focusing on Son Gohan, Son Goku, and Son Goten. Now pivoting over to the entire lineage for Son Goku here to play into that strategy. We love our Self-Awakeners. We love our cards, especially as they play into some of these wonderful, gorgeous cards. And here we've got the reveal of the secret rare alternate art. And what an absolutely gorgeous Son Goten we have here.
Yeah, this is a double star. Technically, this is just Son Goten, even though all three are on here, but really showing this family Kamehameha action, right? It's the secret rare for this one. I don't think we've seen this art for it before, so it's really cool to see just how much love and care they put into these cards here. Just a dynamically great card. The art is fantastic. And are you really going for game if you're not, doing a max rarity double strike? I don't think you're really pushing it unless you have this card.
Yeah, 100%. There's a little bit of flair here in being able to throw that down. And it can't be understated how these cards, as gorgeous as they are in digital, in physical, are absolutely awe-inspiring. Between the gold treatments, the little bit of texturing that's on top. These are sure to awe-inspire anyone who pulls these cards from a pack or plays it down to be able to close out the game.
For sure. So I think those are, oh no, we do have one more. We do have the 1 stars. So we do have the whole line as well. And if you can see, the art lines up with the kind of the impact lines for it. So we've got the Son Goku, the Son Gohan Adolescence, 2 SRs from this set. And then also, again, the secret rare Son Goten here to finish the trio.
Yeah, 100%. I love these connecting arts, especially since a lot of fans who be able to collect the pack sometimes don't tune in to the show, right? And they're like, oh, wait, I just realized. And it's that aha moment that I think is really gorgeous as players are going to collect their master sets. So I think these are absolutely phenomenal. I love when they're able to do this kind of thing. It's a very iconic moment for those who have seen the movie in which this partakes in as well. So to be able to see the Sun family all lined up, and bonus points if you're able to get this on the field.
yeah. I mean, it's easy though, right? You play Son Goten to play a 3 cost, you play Son Gohan to play a 2 cost, and then you play your Son Goku. You do have to line it up this way. That is a requirement. If you play all 3 of these, you have to line them up like this.
So if you're able to get that max rarity deck, these plays will reward you by being able to put them in this well-conjoined art format.
All right, and so for the grand finals participation, so this will be at Battle Hour. So these are what our players are fighting for today. There is an exclusive energy marker. So we're using the art of this 2-star secret rare here for energy marker. What a fantastic art. I can't wait to see it in person.
Yeah, the full gold shines. If you guys, there are a lot of full gold cards that we've gotten in the past, things like the celebration cards that we got all the way back in set 1 for our viewers at home, if they get a sense of what these are, and these shine brilliantly. So being able to have that as an energy marker, I love for these players to have the opportunity to be able to get the secret rare as an energy marker. It lives on the board, you can shine that off, and it's one of those flex pieces, right? Very similar to the playmat, the ability to be able to have that mat and be like, oh wait, where'd you get that? What's that say? Is that a grand finals? That's really where the mind games start on turn 0.
100%. So just for showing up, we get this, but we do also get some additional deals for participating as well. So if you are playing either the physical TCG version or the digital version, you will get rewards on the online client for Fusion World. So you do get, to brag that you did make it all this way. You do also get some exclusive play edit items too. So some really nice swag on the online client.
Yep, 100%. The mind games, not only in the physical version, but in the digital version as well, especially as the versus screen kind of flashes your opponent's player card right off the bat. You're like, oh, wait, what's, whoa.
You're like, oh, maybe they don't know what I'm doing. Maybe they'll let me, get some advantage. You're like, oh, no, I got to play against someone who knows what they're doing. That is terrifying.
Yep, 100%. And of course, this leads into the grand finals prize cards. And Dragon Ball never disappoints in this position here. We've got the champion, second place, and third place cards all in wonderful gold foiling here. We've got the GT across the board with the Spirit Bomb on 1 and 2 in different perspectives, and then finally that iconic Shenron and Goku scene.
Yeah, these are just fantastic. They're all unique arts too, which I think is amazing to just have so much original art for this. And it's going to be cool to see who ends up getting our champion for the 2025-2026 season.
Yeah, 100%. So these players will be fighting it out to see who will be able to break through. Once again, Battle Hour, you guys will not want to miss it out. Make sure to be a part of the show, be part of the excitement. It is the greatest Dragon Ball event of the year, and you will not want to miss it. Just like we will not want to miss this final match here between Misaki and Toma.
Yep. So we've got 2 finalists here, and they're playing Cell Boo and Boo Cell. Which one are you more inclined to, Cell first or Boo first?
I think in a position where both decks are in a position to want to potentially gauge out what the opponent is doing and play it out. Cell has the opportunity to just be a little bit more proactive in that sense, and I feel like you want to be able to press with that deck, push the opponent in an uncomfortable corner and be able to push through. But realistically, in a world where this goes to 3, we're facing every single matchup here. So knowing both of these players are very competent in maneuvering these top 2 decks of the format, it'll be interesting to see kind of what strategies he opt for. We've seen players be a little bit more aggressive. We've seen them be a little bit more passive. So at what point do these players decide to turn the corner is going to be very pivotal in kind of how the game's going to land.
Yeah, so we'll see what this looks like. It looks like it's going to be Boo versus Cell. This is our first Cell of the day, and might be the last. We'll have to find out. But I guess we've been playing on the Majin Buu side all day, so we'll be really in tune with what these decks are trying to do.
Yep. It is always interesting to see as well if the decks are on like the Friezas or whether they're on the Majin Buus. Looks like here we have a very Frieza heavy build. We are teching in the 6-drop, which we are going to charge, which is fair. The Cell deck operates kind of very comfortably without having to play their 5-drop. Whereas in the mirror, I think there's a very smart tech, because now you're in a position where you're forcing your opponent to not be able to get the tempo they would want with their 5-drop. So I think, especially in these kind of top cut style formats, there's a lot of opportunity to be a little bit more flexible with your deck builds, knowing that you're going to be facing probably more of the top tier decks versus kind of facing off into a variety of things that you couldn't Swiss.
Yeah, and one quick thing, like immediately looking at this opening hand, we have completely different cards that we weren't seeing in the previous match, right? One, Chilai super combo, best super combo by far. So love to see them on that one. But we do also see the results of training, a very defensive card. Essentially, you get to be another super combo for 1 energy, get a plus 15k and draw 1 as long as there's a rested 3 cost on either side of the board, which is going to happen. We do see like the secret rare, which again, it does get charged for this match, I think, but there's just a lot of different techs you can be playing in these Majin Buu decks.
Yep, and here these Friezas are phenomenal, right? Just because we're both sides of the matchup kind of want to be able to prevent the deck from being able to awaken until later. They're also 10Ks, and a lot of Cell's early plays are like incidental 5K minuses, so it makes it a little bit more awkward to be able to get rid of the Frieza as well. And knowing that you can do that turn over turn, and then if you ever need to, you can just go ahead and redrop Majin Buu and start punishing the hand that way as well. It is definitely a slower hand, but I think it is a very annoying hand for Cell to have to deal with.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like either leader is like bad on the front side, but they just get exponentially better on the back side. Like we saw in the first game, you can get stalled out pretty big, and then for Cell, it's like the difference between attacking 15k or 40k. Like super combo plus to get out of an attack is huge, so preventing that any turn you can is a huge boon.
Yep. So we're on the think here. Of course, clock management, something we need to be aware of. Reminder that both these players will have 15 minutes on their clock per game. A little bit different than the Swiss are used to. So being able to manage the clock and figuring out how we're going to play out, you know, we can use some of those earlier turn clock to be able to figure out what the next couple of turns will be. But it does tighten up our ability to be able to kind of think through our game-winning lines in the end. So there's a very awkward position for our Cell player here. So we'll have to see, you know, how much do I dive into things. I've got like 4 drops in hand. I've got not a bevy of options in terms of what I can do here.
We're just going to attack, put them down to 6 life real quick.
Man, it is crazy how quick Cell can snap that special beam cannon.
yeah, he's learned from the best, I think. He's very good at it. So, all right, thinking on this too. If we had the Son Goku mini Daima, I think I think Cell has the chance to have a little bit more Self Awakeners. We have the chance for like the 1-drop Cell into 2-drop 17 if we have it, but we didn't get it. So, a little bit of a slower hand for Cell, I think.
Yeah. Here we are just going to go off to go into the Android 16, which is a 20k swings. Looks like we're going to be aggressive. I don't disagree with this, seeing the kind of position you're stuck in, because if you're going to play the slow game, you're kind of in the tough spot. We'll be able to use this activate main send stuff to drop, and then be able to play the Android, being able to get ourselves another peek into the top of our deck. Yeah,
and I get why it was kind of awkward, just because like we do need to see some pieces. Oh, but we do now have the combo next turn, so we can play the Cell for 1, play the 17 for 2, and then go into a 4-drop at the end of our turn.
So now the question is, all right, opponent swinging into me pretty aggressively. How much lower do I play? Looks like we are still going to take the opportunity to be able to swing into the 1-drop, get our free draw here. Could potentially go into the SR Boo and rip a card. We could set up for the Bobbity. It does look like we are going to go into the 3-drop. Question is, are we going to swing? Probably not. I mean, the deck Cell heavily benefits from battle cards being KO'd. So the less opportunities you have to be able to give that to your opponent, at least earlier in the game, the cleaner of an out you will have to their turn.
Yeah, I think you're good either way. I don't think it's strictly one way or the other. You kind of have to start pressuring them a little bit, but no, as you mentioned, just deciding to stay at 8 life on the other side for Cell.
All right, so we're in the tank here.
We have the issue where every card in our hand is good.
Yes.
Which sounds like a weird issue, but it is definitely the issue we have right now.
Yeah, the skill checks in this game, it's a game of inches, right? The skill checks start from turn 1, because the cards you charge are cards you're not going to see for the entire rest of the game. Cards can be used 2 to 3 ways, because you can play them, you can combo them away. So making these decisions can be very tough from the get-go, and being able to maximize on those decisions is what makes these players be in these phenomenal finals positions that they're in, as we do see the Cell swing into the Boo, get them down to 4 life, and now we are in Awaken range, which I don't think our Boo player minds all too much.
No, and again, with this 3-drop Majin Buu, we can get a lot of pressure. We will be able to play the Android 17 to discard 1 Android and draw 2, but we did charge the Cell 1-drop, so we decided that's not our play this turn.
So going into the Android 17, on play, discard a battle card with Android in its name, and if your leader's Android, you get to draw 2 cards. So cheeky little cycle here, 10k combo on board. Naturally, it gives us the Android 17 name we need to in the future to be able to go into some things, but that does not look like position right now. We've got a couple of Cell Juniors in hand. We're sitting on the 4-drop Cell, so there's opportunity for explosive plays here. We're just not in the right position to maximize on that just yet. All right, going to see the proc of the ability here.
All right. I mean, we got another 1-drop if we want to go for it.
Could also just go into another Android 18, try to find ourselves some more cards.
Yeah, the issue is that we want to try to protect, like we want to do Android 18 with 4-drop cell, I think, in one sweep at this point, because it's yellow has a lot of interaction for 1-drops.
All right, and does look like we will go into the cell. End of turn. We can go ahead and proc the cell. So at the end of the turn, you may place one Android 17 and this card for invalid internals drop. And if you do so, you may draw a card and then play a cell with 25k power from your hand.
Oh, but deciding
which
not
we don't
to.
do.
You know what? I think this is fine because it says, please, you are forced to hit into me.
This is true.
Please give me some cards, all right? I don't care if you have 1-drop Friezas or anything. Like, you have to hit me now.
It is kind of tough, though, being in a position where you're just going to have to, like, face this 3-drop. Boo. Right?
Yes,
like,
yeah.
oh, all right, draw a card, cycle a card, draw a card, get rid of a card. And this is where those positions are just very... Like, there's a world... I don't know. I don't think you do. I think you eventually do need to start pressuring a little bit. But there's honestly a world in which our boot player here could just be like, nah, I'm good.
Nah. Hey,
and, like, I still went up a card this turn anyways.
We do. I mean, both these characters are villains, right? And nothing makes me feel more like a villain than this 3-drop boot just saying, please, this card one every turn for the rest of the game.
Yep. We'll go ahead and play out our cycle. Good. That 2-drop's actually... Okay, we already had one in hand, but the 2-drop can be really annoying.
Yeah. We need the stale one, not the fresh one.
Yeah. Even when you're being aggressive, this Bobbity is actually pretty good in that, like, oh, okay, I can aggress if need be, and then I get the free restand, which still forces my opponent to have to not be able to deal with my board in, like, a way that is super efficient for them.
Yeah, and this is... I mean, we have one Self-Awakener card in hand. We do have a 2-drop Android 18 there. We do have 1-drop, 4-drop, and 5-drop. So if we want to remove specifically that Bobbity or 1-drop Sorbet, we can make a 30k. But it's such a tough position here.
Yeah, it's not immediately obvious kind of how we start getting ahead.
We could
especially
play 1-drops 18 and 3-drop Android and get removal that way.
So leader swing here. We could throw a card, but I don't think it's super efficient, especially since I have the Sorbet just hanging out there.
But again, being able to convert that Sorbet into like a 3-drop effect is still super good. But we did end up drawing the... I'll have to remember specifically the name of the card, but it's not self-destruct, because self-destruct doesn't do as much here.
No, yeah.
It is the Royal Defense Forces Last Stand. So you get to add 1 card from your life to your hand. If your leader is an Android-only card, choose up to 1 battle card in your opponent's battle area and give it minus 20k for the turn. So what you can do here now is that you can use that, go down to 6 life, which you would really appreciate doing, and get rid of it. But instead, we're going to play the 3-drop Android 16. We're going to attack 20k here.
Sure. I mean, that kind of gets around to the same position. On KO, Android 16 will be able to choose a card and give it minus 20k. So here makes a lot of sense. Hey, we're just going to protect ourselves anyways.
And we're comboing the 1-drop off because we don't want it to be rested. Again, we want them to active attack into us.
Yep. So kind of some really solid sequencing here where it's like we dealt with our opponent's board, we dealt with the 3-drop. Little does you know that there's probably another one coming along the way. But regardless... while giving us the best position for the opponent to have to attack into us. So while keeping our hand relatively fresh, we got 9 cards in hand here. Boo does have 14 at the moment, but technically there are 3 cards that'll eventually be going into the cell player's hand. So
we're finally hitting them down to 6 here. And do you think we're doing the full combo? We don't have a double striker in hand, so that is like a little bit unfortunate. Despite all this draw, we haven't seen it quite yet. But
yeah, I was wondering if we were gonna cycle away one of these freezes, and it does look like, yep, you know what? I don't net a card on this, but I don't lose a card either, and I'm forcing a card out of your hand without having to attack into you, which puts me in a pretty comfortable position.
Yep. And then I'd probably consider hitting them down to 5. I'm not sure if we do yet. It does, 5 is actually pretty easy for Cell to awaken, but you know that their next turn is likely still going to be their 5-drop loop if they have it.
Yeah, I think the consideration here is just like force them to have to get there themselves, as opposed to having to just give it to them for free, quote unquote. Because like if they go into their 5-drop turn, you're like, okay, well, their most optimal play if I leave them in this position is their 5-drop. Now you only need to like play around one scenario as opposed to having to consider the scenarios if they decide to awaken. So thinking on charge here.
Yeah, we've got 10 cards in hand. Cell generally has a pretty good hand size. Not as good as Boo, but just the way that these 3-drop Majin Boos have been interacting with it just like really puts them at low resources, which is tough to deal with.
All right, so 5/6 virtual energy here available for our Cell player. Now things have opened up. We have the ability to be able to play into our 5-drops. Could potentially play a little bit more aggressive. We don't mind being the aggro deck here. Does look like we're going to go ahead and rip a life using this minus 20k, getting that down to 5, and the additional 5k is not the hardest thing for this deck to be able to do.
No, and again, we're going to resolve another Android 18, give something minus 5k, and then look top 3. We have our first self-destruct added to hand here. And then now we have a decision. Do we want to go into the 5-drop or do we want to awaken? Because we have to do one or the other here.
So of course the options here are we can go into. Looks like we're just gonna start with the swing, see what the draw gives us, and then go from there, which likely indicates potentially not upping to self-awaken since we're not threatening the opponent's life in any real meaningful way here, but we do draw into the Android 17, and does look like we are going to go into the 4-drop.
Yeah. 4-drop will be 25k, and then we're actually going to make it a 35k. I like this play. It's a tough play because it's one or the other, right? Either you think that your 5-drop's going to get KO'd, and then you're able to awaken off of it. But with the self-destruct, you can pop your own 5-drop next turn. So, yeah, I think this will be a good combo next turn.
So we're going to go ahead and absorb Android 18 and find ourselves going into the 5-drop Cell. On play, add up to 1 card with a cost of 4 or less and Android. These traits from your drop to your hand. Is a beefy 30k, and when KO'd, if your leader is an Android only card, play up to 1 Android 18 with a cost of 2 or less from your drop. Naturally, that gives us a couple of options, notably the Self-Awakener if necessary.
Yeah, but just showing the power of this results of training here. So we got out of an attack for 1 energy, and it drew us another one, right? So I think it's going to be pretty easy for the rest of this game to Majin Buu to have at least 1 energy open, and getting out of these 30k attacks for free every turn will be huge.
Yep, it is crazy how impactful a 15k draw card is.
Yes, it's very good.
It is notable, though, right, in this format, that in the mirror match is a lot tougher to be able to get your defensive value off of that because both decks will be playing the 4-drop. So if we're in a position where we end up seeing Boo versus Boo, there's a world in which those cards could potentially be a hindrance, depending on how the Boo player decides to use them. So we will see the 30k swing into the Cell. See if we opt to protect it.
It's so tempting because you're like, all right, I lose the Cell, but then I get to play my 2-drop Android that I put into my drop. I get to take a life. I get to go down to 4. There's a lot of benefits for just letting this go, and that's what we're deciding to do.
Knowing that likely we were just going to have to blow it up anyways next turn because the opponent would rest mode, keep it in rest mode with the leader ability here. But we do go into the other 18 here to be able to search the top of our deck.
We can still kind of do the same play because we did end up finding a second 5-drop. But yeah, they're really being specific, and yeah, we have so many 1-drop rest cards. Like we had Frieza, which was already very good, and then they're like, all right, let's make a Majin Buu trait version of Frieza, and again, just bullying this board here.
Yep, that is a cute tech in that it can also become a blocker if you really needed to.
we're going to leave the Boo to do the blocking, though. And looks like we're going to pass from there. Ooh, another 2-drop.
11 cards in hand, 212. Looks like we're going to charge the extra cards. And now we are in a position where, if need be, we can awaken. Into the 4-drop we go. Minus the blocker by 20k. Into the 1-drop. Cycle will be able to draw ourselves a card.
Interesting here. So we're kind of like saying, all right, you can block and end my turn early if you want to, but then I still get to get the cycle into the 5-drop here. And we're going to make it a 30k. Wow.
Yeah, so here, Results of Training doesn't exactly get us out of it, so it's not card neutral. We do have the combo power. We could go down to 3, but does look like we're going to go ahead and combo away the board and probably just give that another 10k.
Yeah, and yeah, with the 2-drop Boo there.
All right, so defending here, see if we use the Cell ability here. Going to go ahead and get rid of that Android 18. Play ourselves a Cell.
Yep, and we get our 4th super combo, so nice to see those. We get 5-drop Cell. Look through our drop, get a Android there, so it can be probably another 4-drop. Oh, no, okay. Love this play. This is actually super heads up.
Yeah, this is very, very tight sequencing here from the player. So we are going to lose out on not much here, as we kind of be able to awaken. We got rid of the board. We're in a very comfy position. We're now awakened. So very tight sequencing here from our Cell player.
Yeah, and so some quick clarification on what's going on. So the 4-drop Boo does have protection on getting removed by effects, but by giving it the -10 and then the -20 from the Royal Defense Force's Last Stand, it becomes 0 power. So not only does it get removed, but it gets removed without being KO'd. So you don't get the draw, you don't get the resting. It means that we get these 2 40k attacks, and this is like a really good turn for our Cell player now.
Yep, just like in kind how yellow can kind of play a lot of removal stuff by keeping stuff stunned down. Red has the ability that a lot of this destruction is non-KO, and because of that, you can work around these abilities, which kind of makes the back and forth between the Majin matchup versus the red matchup very interesting in terms of being able to kind of work around a lot of like, okay, I'm not destroying a lot of red cards, which gets around their abilities, whereas red's like, I'm technically also not destroying your cards.
yeah. So, but for our Majin Buu side, so we did go down to 3, but we did end up finding our first double striker, which with 15 cards left in deck, I would hope to find at least one. So I'm happy we finally did. And this can offer some good pressure into this next turn.
Yep, we're going to go 20k leader swing here. And this is really where the game kind of comes together with both leaders awakened, because it does 2 things. One, naturally, you're in a position where you're both 20ks, which allows you to pressure each other in a much more cozy position, but also now you're like incentivized to swing into each other because you're not holding off on the opponent being awakened. So it's like, okay, I have permission to kind of go full throttle here. Both decks are in that position now, so the tempo of the game makes a big shift now because it's going to shift from setting ourselves up to getting as much advantage and cards out of the opponent's hand every single turn that we can.
Yeah, and you know, Cell essentially does kind of put your opponent on a clock by itself, right? 40k attacks. Essentially every turn means that you have to super combo plus something, which is a tough ask for a lot of these games, but it doesn't generally have double strikers. So that does mean you have to kind of just do a bunch of single strike attacks to try to go for game. We do have the combo with 5-drop Boo with Babidi, so we do get to draw 1 and make your opponent discard 2, which again, they only have good cards in their hand, so it's going to be a tough decision here for our Cell player on which 2 cards you're losing.
Yep, always a tough position. No clean way to be able to get rid of it while still keeping up the pressure that you want to. So we did get rid of our 2 cards there, and now we're just going to start applying the pressure. And of course, we do have our leader ability as well. I'll be able to keep kind of Cell just chilling there. So
yeah, so we've got, generally speaking, it's probably okay to take this one, but then yeah, we'll definitely need to get out of this next one.
Yeah, so we do take the 25k swing there, and then we're just going to go ahead, play a cycler, be able to draw a card. Super combo, best super combo.
Best super combo. Oh yeah, no doubt.
And then we're going to go for likely the 40k swing here.
Yeah,
Or
so
maybe
really...
we just leave Sorbet. Okay, we just leave Sorbet there.
Alright, so probably to help us get out of one of our attacks later. I don't know. I think I'd be somewhat happy to pressure that, but at the same point, you have to be recognizing that Sal could also just go for game next turn too. They get a lot of attacks, a lot of swings. We do have a blocker here off of our 2-drop Bobbity, which looks like we're going to make it the 3-drop. Thinking our 5-drop is safe, and we're going to pass it back.
Yeah, I think there's a world also where you're like, yes, it's easy for red to be able to like minus 5k something, get rid of the Sorbet for free, but at the same time, if they want to prioritize getting rid of the 3-drop SR, then they have to potentially choose between one or the other, and maybe the Sorbet lives and you're able to just get a free defense off of that point.
Yeah. Again, it's not anything strictly better one way or the other. It's just a decision they're making.
Yeah, for sure. You're saving a card. You're preventing your card from being taken away from the opponent's hand versus just kind of saving one for yourself for later. Or at least making your opponent's decision be a little bit more awkward. As we go into 10 cards left in deck here. 6 energy for our Cell players. They jump into the main. 3 super combos in hand. So a very defensive hand. We have this... got ourselves a self-destruct as well. So kind of limit on options in terms of like where we want to go with the deck. It does look like we will start with the self-destruct. Makes a lot of sense considering our Cell is probably never going back to active mode.
yeah, I think he's stuck there. And this will let us get a 1-drop 18 back, which will then be able to get a minus 5k somewhere and draw us a card. And then we do have a 4-drop in hand too, so we have such potential for some, the recursion that this deck is really, really known for.
Yep, there's a world in which we could have like potentially played the Cell Junior for free before doing that, but I think we kind of value the combo power being in our hand for now.
We're gonna get another 5-drop on board, so not a huge condition. Yeah, and then another Cell Junior too. That card is very obnoxious, which I again, theming for the show, right?
True.
They can be pretty obnoxious.
All right, so it does look like we're going to go ahead and target out. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to neg over Double Strike Boo to 20, then swing on leader. They are at 3 life, so this does go ahead and get rid of 10k out of their hand. And then we'll see where the leader swing goes, but there is opportunity here to be able to kind of dish out this 5-drop here and make that do most of the work.
Yeah, and it's down to 20k, so it looks like they're deciding to choose the self-destruct, but it definitely could have been like the Royal Defense Force as well, to get the minus 10k, minus 20k, so... Oh, sorry, that was just the draw off the thing. My bad. We can still just add the Royal Defense Force. This deck draws so much.
Card draw is pretty good. We are down to 7 cards in deck. And this is a more defensive Boo. We see that with the results of training and everything. So there's actually a world in which, I'm not saying it's the way to go about it, but like you could definitely sequence this in a way where maybe you just stall out Cell.
Yeah. But with double Cell Juniors here, I think they're good to get out of your hand too, just because again, it's less things that, if you have less cards in hand, you turn off their hand destruction. We can now bully this 5-drop Boo if we need to. It's also not outrageous to say play Cell Junior, bully the 5-drop, and then we can self-destruct it afterwards. So again, so many flexible removal plays for Cell. It's part of the reason it's so good in this meta.
Yep. The ability to be able to dish out big bodies from relatively nothing too crazy. The fact that you're able to get multiple swings from those bodies. The free removal that comes in alongside that. But here we do see the benefit of being a more defensive-oriented deck as we use results of training, get ourselves a 35, draw it into another Bobbity. And now we kind of leave the onus on our opponents to be able to do something about our board here. Likely kind of a few options to be able to go about it.
Yeah, these results of trainings have been really huge. It's been really helpful for us to get out of some attacks here. Yeah, I'm going to guess we're going to play double Cell Junior. We're going to pressure each one into the 5-drop, and then if they let it go, we just self-destruct one of them.
Yep. And it's a great way to force additional cards out of your opponent's hand if they feel like we don't have it. Looks like we are thinking on that. Start off with the leader swing on leader, and it's going to be a 40k swing.
All right, we're just going to take it pretty quickly, go down to 2.
Ooh. Get ourselves into
Also,
another 10K.
oh, and we're going to get rid of our 5-drop cell, which will let us cycle into another piece if we need to. Could be a 2-drop Android 18 that we can attack 20k, make it 30k with the Cell Junior.
And yeah, so 20k here on your turn. You take the life if you want, although I think we're just going to opt out here. And then we're going to go for a clean 20k swing.
Yeah, just get the 5k out. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of ways to approach that turn again. Like with all of these effects being like 1 cost or no cost, it does open the avenue for a lot of different play lines, which is, you know, as much as like Cell is like a really strong deck, there are a lot of plays, and it does like differentiate from that side, which is cool.
Yep. Just shy of having the most explosive turn here. We don't have the double striker, but we've got a few buff boos here in hand to be able to make a couple of pushes if need be. We do just see the free combo here. Heads up play, because we know odds are that's going to get rested anytime soon. So just have to
and also our Cell player does not have a lot of time left. They do have to be very...
Yeah. I mean, they took a lot of time in the earlier turns, and time management's incredibly important. So now they are very tight on being able to make decisions at this point in time, while having 5 cards left in deck.
Yeah, 5 cards left in deck, not a lot of decisions. I don't blame Boo for going for this more defensive route, especially because we have 2-drop Bobbity here to restand our 2-drop here.
Yeah,
we're just going to pass.
I think this makes a lot of sense. You know, we have a ton of cards in hand. 2 super combos. We've got the blocker, which means the Cell player needs to do a little bit more work to be able to get that out of the way. And every leader swing at this point in time is 1 less turn.
Yeah.
Which is very impactful, because yes, you lose out on the draw, and you lose out on the attack, which really hurts. But being able to have the extra turn, especially when you have battle cards that are as impactful as they are, but you lose the 40k swing. So it's just being this deep into your deck is a very tough position for Cell, because it's like, is converting a turn worth the 40k swing or not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know that again, like Boo just has like more resources in every regard except for just cards in life here. But we're going 40k here to try to pressure out of it. We are going to super combo 5k to get out of this 40k attack. We are going to use the effect there. Probably play like a 1 cost. I think we need to try to find another 5 cost, but no. Okay, we're going to play our 2-drop Android here, so maybe taking a life from it.
Okay,
right.
So saying...
we got 5-drop. That's great.
Yeah, recognizing that we need to be able to go for it here. Blocker does still make our life pretty annoying at the moment.
Yeah, but now we can at least pressure, right?
Yeah, it looks like we're just going to go straight into it.
Interesting. I would have at least attacked with my 4-drop, right? Because we get the effect back. Oh, we're getting the road defense
wanting the
force.
1 energy. Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, that card's been huge for this matchup. It's been really, really good.
Massive. And yeah, it looks like Cell's committed to going for it here. So we are going to go ahead and proc that, be able to get that down to 0, lose the blocker, because it negs down to 0. We will not get the on-KO proc. First swing here, you know you only need to defend 2 swings, so need to go optimal here, 50k swing. And our Majin Buu player knows that if he gets out of this, he's A-okay. Lots of 10ks in hand to make that happen here. So 40, 50, and there is the 55 that we need to get out of it here.
Well, this is most decks, but we're not like most decks. We still have the Cell Junior for potentially a sneaky swing after this, so we do have to still be aware of this. It's going to be a 40k. They have to respect the amount of it, and yeah, just, you know what? No funny business.
Yep.
They don't have 2 Cell Juniors. And the 5k off the board, too.
Yeah, heads up play for sure, especially knowing that, like, if your opponent's going to force you to have it next turn, you got the buff boost to be able to close out the game also. And yeah, looks like that's just going to be a concession right there as we go game 1 to our Majin Buu player.
Yeah, but super tight. I think that the Cell deck had a lot of good like tech cards for it. The Royal Defense Force put a lot of work being able to remove that. The self-destruct isn't normally able to interact with the 4-drop Boo, so this being an alternative for it is really nice. Obviously, they're a little pressed on time and resources because they were about a deck out as well, but I think they made the best out of it, and they definitely could have won on that final turn.
Yeah, 100%. I think we saw some phenomenal sequencing on both ends. And especially like we were talking about earlier, where because you know you're going into like a bracketed top cut type situation, you know the type of decks you're going to be seeing, and you can make those really nice tech decisions. We saw that with the results of training on one side. We saw that with the choices of extra cards on the Cell deck player side. So being able to make those decisions to optimize for the matchup is a huge deal here. So, forcing their way through, playing wonderfully on both ends, honestly. And now we're in a position where we're going to be seeing a Cell mirror, I believe.
Yes, a Cell mirror match. Yes, that will be correct. So a lot of interaction on both sides, right? Majin Buu does have like potential for some barrier or some ways to get out of it, but yeah, we're going to see a lot of androids hit the board, and unironically, there's another chance for another deck out for this one because you do grind this game pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, both decks, you know what both decks are doing. You both know that you're having neg-based removal, so if you're playing any of your like weenies up on board, they're incidentally going to get removed. So you need to rely on like more bursty plays, knowing that your board isn't going to be able to contest multiple turns in a row. So being able to make the decision on, and this really is the kind of theming of this past format of just like, when do I go? When do I turn the format? Right? It is very phase out your opponent, get a vibe for it, and then recognizing when to be able to go as these players go ahead and get set up for game 2. As a reminder to our viewers, this is a conquest style tournament. It is a best of 3. Both players bring 2 decks of 2 different colors to be able to play on the strategy, and they need to be able to win with both of their decks, which potentially means this could go into a best of 3 game 3 scenario. So we'll see how these players take out this matchup, take out this mirror match, and potentially force us into another Cell versus Boo game 3.
Yeah, and I think we have another quote-unquote issue where like we only have good cards in our hand right now, right? We've got our 1-drop, which is an easy play. We do have like our Cell Juniors, which sometimes if you high roll and you get 3 or 4 of them in your hand, you can just change the outlook of a game too. So we're gonna have to decide what our charge is, because again, like we can also high roll from 2-drop 17 into a 4-drop later in the game too, so you do have to be aware of that.
Yep, you do have to be aware of the clock as well. Reminder that both players only have 15 minutes on the clock per game. It's not like the ladder matches that we have on the digital client where you get a refresh of clock and a clock of 5 minutes. So they're able to spend this time as they see necessary, whether that's at the start of the game or at the end of the game, to be able to make a decision. But it does look here like we are going to mulligan here on our top player side as our bottom player here goes second, and we wind down into our turn 1.
All right, well, easy charge on that side. We've got 3 of our Android 16, so we can lose 1 of them. And we're just like 1 good card draw away from getting a really explosive start from our top Cell player.
Setting up that 15k early, knowing that it's not really going anywhere anytime soon based on the little 5k power negs here. So we will see the swing here, getting another Android 17 into the hand.
And 3 Cell Juniors, my goodness.
Yeah, that's a lot of juniors. I mean, they did come in a pile.
They did. They've got the whole pile in their hand almost.
Whoa,
so.
That's shiny.
Yeah, oh yeah. If you're playing this game at this level, right, you have to have a couple qualifications to get here. That 2-drop Son Goku Mini Daima, fantastically pretty card. Love to see it.
Yeah, just more ways to be able to show off your accolades, be it from your player titles to the cards that you're able to play. With that beautiful foiling effect as well. So we do see the swing here, 7 life on 7 life. We do play our own Cycler 18 here, being able to draw into another extra card, and then going into the 1-drop SR, being able to pop the opponent's 5k, and being able to find ourselves a 5-drop Cell.
Yeah, and we could have tried to get a little bit lucky with it, right? We could have like 2-dropped Android 17 to see if we draw into a 4-drop Cell, but I like this kind of metered approach, and we can be a little bit more slower on the play because we do have so much advantage, I think, on our opponent right now.
Yeah, so here we do see the swing, easy take here. as we draw into a Daimaku, and follow up by the Android 17.
Yeah, and there could be some draws from us where this will let us get like a double draw into like a 1-drop cell, 4-drop cell. We can try to go tall with it, but again, when both decks have so many removal cards, like we see the self-destruct on one side, we see the Royal Defense Force, which we just did charge here, but there is a lot of back and forth removal for sure.
Yeah, so definitely a bit more fast-paced tempo than we've seen in the previous match. Both leaders just kind of going at each other, not as much opportunity to be able to attack into rest-moded stuff. Sitting at 6 life each here, and we see another Android 17 here on the other side. I like the cards that you were playing, so let me try to do the same.
Yeah, and if we are able to draw into like a 1-drop minus 5k Android 18, we can get rid of this 2-drop on the other side off of just using that minus 5k and then converting into a 4-drop cell afterwards.
All right, so into another 5-drop into a self-destruct.
Yeah, we're just going to decide to not to. Yeah, get another Cell Junior now. We don't have any cells that cost 5, so they are stuck in hand for now, but I don't think they're going to stay there for long.
So, big setup here for our top players' board as we go into 4 virtual energy here for our bottom cell player.
Yeah, but we're in a tough spot. We don't have 1-drop cell. We don't have 4-drop cell. We've got 2 5-drops and a bunch of self-destructions, but not necessarily what we're looking for at this moment.
Yep. And you're kind of in a scary position where, like, all right, put my opponent to 5 now. I could take another life if necessary. But that in its own right is a spooky position given the opponent's board is the way that it is right the second. We're going to be able to chip away at an Android 18 here with our own Android 18 and see if we can kind of dig our deck to find one of those pieces that we need.
Yeah, and I like the idea that if we can't get rid of the 2-drop 17, we'll just keep the 4-drop in hand, keep it safe there. We'd rather do a play, but again, I don't think we have any Android 18s left in our hand, so we do have to be careful about potentially losing access to that play next turn.
Yep, our pickup is the Cycler Android 18 here. And then we got 2 energy plus the energy marker still available to us. Kind of a tough spot.
It feels so tough. Yeah. You want to use self-destruct, but like, what are you doing, right? You're trading 1-drops. That's not the full potential of that card.
Yeah, it does look like that's where we're gonna go with it, though.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna lose my 2-drop, and you're gonna lose.
What?
Oh, of course. There he is.
Yeah, that's usually how that goes, isn't it?
Yeah, well, at least we still don't have the 4-drop, so it still is tough.
Yeah.
We have to really try to find it next turn because it's a bit unfortunate we haven't seen it through the first half of our deck so far.
Yep, so we are going to destruct the 1-drop here. 2 more energy technically, but I doubt that we use the energy marker at this spot. Have some more self-destructs in hand. Do have a cycle that we could play. Could set up for our own 1-drop, but that'll just kind of
feels terrible.
Yeah,
but the play might have been to double self-destruct to get rid of both of their 1-drops, just so like, you force them to not go into the 5-drop next turn. Yeah, all right, another self-destruct.
Yeah, I guess here we just banked on them saying you probably don't have a way. Okay, yeah, so getting rid of you 17 there on board, saying, you know what, your 18s are going to be chilling there. I have a reason to believe that you'll likely be able to go get into another one if necessary. So you're just going to have to work your way from there.
Yeah, so, I mean, you got the most amount of power off the board, but you left the synergy cards on the board, so...
Yeah.
It's tough either way, I feel.
Definitely room
4 here.
Definitely room to be able to think about, like, tech cards in these top scenarios where maybe you're able to play something like it's not synergistic, but like a 3-drop Gohan that's able to clean up all these weenies on the board and stuff like that. Definitely interesting considerations on how these players went into their deck building. We do see the swing here, 5 life, both players. And we do indeed go into the 4-drop cell.
Yeah, well, nothing to clear, so that at least, aha, I use my self-destructs while I still have something, but you still have not found a 4-drop Sal, which is starting to be a little bit unlucky at this point.
Yep. We do go into the 5-drop here, 30k. Being able to add a card back to hand at any point in time now, next turn, Cell will be able to self-awaken themselves as well, depending on how aggressive our bottom cell player here goes for the board. Likely to see an awaken here, draw a card, drawing into another 1-drop. We'll have to combo at least 15 to get out of this position.
So likely a super combo. You kind of have to use these while they get value because again, a super combo by itself does not get out of a leader attack. It is 40k is a lot. 40k is a lot of power.
All right, pass turn there. Big hand, 14 card hand to an 11 card hand. Although once the opponent awakens, it's closer to about 13 if they just kind of take what's coming their way. But we do have the benefit of being able to set up some big swings here.
Potentially, but the issue again is that we do not have our 4-drop. So, and we don't get to draw with their leader unless something has been KO'd from our side of the board this turn, which you won't be able to really do. So, yeah, pretty unfortunate. They're still not seeing the card.
Yeah, it's a tough spot. Because like you also don't want to just give your opponent the free awaken either.
No, you definitely do not. You're like, all right, this 1-drop better draw me the
4-drop.
The 4-drop Cell, and it did not do that.
Maybe the deck just needs another top 5 surgery.
Maybe you're onto something.
So we will self-destruct here.
Yeah, we kind of have to do this, but again, they get value from it too. It's not like a straight up value one way or the other. Like,
you have to
gotta
do
play
it,
2-drop, 16, right?
But now you have to attack into the leader. Which I guess you're fine with. Start applying pressure.
Yeah, and chances of them getting rid of both of your 5Ks are low. So yeah, we'll get out of this one knowing that they're going to pressure
with the leader.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a tough spot for our bottom cell player.
Into the 1-drop here. Find something from our deck. I feel like there's a specific something we're looking. I mean, look,
this has to be the sanity check, right? Like, I put this in the deck, right? It's in there somewhere. All right, we got it. Fine.
There is always a technical possibility that all 4 were in life. So
sure, yeah, 100%, yeah.
But yeah, I think here's.
And we didn't see their searches earlier. There were chances that maybe they passed up a 4 cost to find a 5 cost.
Right.
Which, these 50-50s you can lose pretty easily. So, a bit of a substandard turn, but I think they made the best of what they got, and then they'll be able to do the more standard plays, I think, starting next turn.
Yeah, so we've got the Cell player here, free awaken for them, which is very comfortable, allow them to get as much optimal lines on play, and they themselves do have the full line in hand without too much trouble there. So we'll probably see some very explosive lines here as our bottom cell player here, end of turn, empty board, being swung on by like 2 30k swings, potentially a 40k swing. So a tough defensive position, which is where that 14 card hand is going to be very handy.
I'm ready for this Android 18 to beat up the other Android 18 though. I'm ready for it. I love when 5Ks hit into 5Ks.
Yeah. 5k on 5k violence.
They don't have to though. They can just play the 4-drop, but I hope
they could. Yeah, I mean, why not, right? It's about sending a message.
Yeah, it is. It is always. All right, and we're thinking on our turn here. Again, we have this issue where we just have so many good cards in our hand currently. We have to decide which ones are the worst. We're going to 5. Are they even considering if they want to charge to 5? They don't need to this turn. Their optimal play just needs 4.
Yeah, you're pretty much just asking yourself, like, do I want to charge now to have the ability to have that one floater next turn? So I guess you're just kind of debating on like whether every card in your hand is more useful than the next 2 cards you're about to draw, if you felt like you needed to go into 5 to be able to have a floater energy. But like you said, not really necessary at this point in time. So, and a lot of times it's still kind of going on based on kind of where we're at. Clockwise, looks like both players have just about 10 minutes. So a lot of time here to be able to kind of consider on those plays, especially as we get into the pivotal turns 5, 6, 7, which will set up kind of that end game board state. Not seeing double strikers from either deck, so we kind of know that there's the single sequence, the single damage sequencing that's going to get us through.
Yeah, and to note too, our bottom player is the one who's currently up 1-0. If they win one more, they take the series. So, a lot of pressure on that. After some heavy debate, we decided to charge an Android 18 from our hand, and we are to awaken to our 20k, soon to be 40k cell.
And then going right into the 4-drop here. Not swinging with the 5k.
I know, I noticed.
You never know. Maybe the opponent's playing a tech activate battle and like they Kamehameha away my Android.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
So we do see the 25k. All right.
I think they are. This is the finals, right? There's so many mind games, right? There's so many levels of it. They were playing a off base, 1 cost counter last game. So let's just make sure we don't lose out on our 1-drop.
Yep, makes sense here to just get into 30k swing to be able to force an additional card out of the hand, knowing that we can go ahead and play another Android here. Cycle a card, and then be able to go into the next 5-drop here for another 30k swing.
30, and then wrap it up to 40 at the end of it. And again, every step of this combo, right, draws you more cards. It's why it's been so good, right? You look at the 5-drop, like, oh, there's a different one that is the one that they market as like the better one, but this one has just been so good at saying, you know what, 30k is good enough, 10k is good enough, draw 1's great enough, draw 1 on KO is good enough. Like, it is, the cycle is very, very present.
10k combo.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is a really tough position to be in because like no super combos in hand either means that you don't have any clean ways to be able to combo out of this. So it's just gonna keep costing you cards here. The 40k swing is gonna be a take. 30k swing, we could push this out to 40 if need be, and we will. It's gonna force at least 3 cards out of the player's hand.
And we're opting for drawing 1 instead at the cost of 1 life. Again, you can kind of go down to 2 life a little bit safer in this matchup because you know that they likely don't have a double strike, but you would still love to be at 3 life right now.
Yep, I mean the life cushion is definitely where you want to be, but at the cost of 3 cards in our hand when our opponent's at like 13, which would put us down to 11. We're at a 2-card deficit, and the hand advantage game starts on turn 1. We're always working towards those end games kind of shotguns here. So putting yourself in a position to be at a deficit is always a tough position to be in, knowing that, your opponent has primarily just a really strong combo hand here. So go ahead and go into the 4-drop. Let yourself swing into our opponent.
Now, I don't know if you've caught this, but we have a particularly nasty play after this one.
Yeah,
we have...
Got the whole family.
I will say it's we got at some point 4 juniors make a senior, right? Like, there has to be the case of it, right? We did miss out on the 4-drop next turn, but being able to play each one of these out, being able to give minus 20k incrementally to the cell on the other side if we want to do that is very strong, and it doesn't give them an on KO, so that can be very, very good here.
Yeah. So drawing into the Daimaku, go ahead into the 5-drop. Able to fetch ourselves a card.
Probably the single copy of the 4-drop Sal that we're playing in our deck today.
Yeah, the one load bearing Sal.
Hey, he showed up, all right.
Yeah,
he got there.
He's there.
You found it. There he is.
Yeah.
Oh, please play these Cell Juniors.
Alright, so 2 life all, 14 cards to 15 cards now. And we'll see if we kind of just go in with the boys. Because it's kind of hard to just punish them just chilling on board also. So
They are. 15k is a really weird number. You don't even have to attack with them. You gotta do. I don't know. I know this is like probably the biggest game of your life, but
yeah,
it's so tempting, right? Just to be able to get a clean removal of this 5-drop cell without their recursion forcing them into having another one.
Yeah, I mean it's literally
All
free.
right, all right. This
yeah, I do like the kids play because like you're also swinging for 40k, so that would because there's no way you want to go to 1, so that'd be like such an awkward spot for the opponent. And we do finally see the second 4-drop here, so
yeah,
we got a couple of options now.
You know, there's a couple more down the line, so just getting a simple draw 1 off this going to be a self-destruct. Likely going to play one of these Cell Juniors. I don't know. I think you had a lot of potential to get a really good push here.
Yeah, because like,
having to get...
if you were going to play one of them anyways, realistically, the way that this deck's removal works out, you're probably only getting rid of one anyhow. The others are very likely to hang out on board still. So you'd be able to kind of be in a very similar position while having the benefit of having swung 40k on your opponent. But
yeah,
they're there and here.
For sure. So we're going to get a minus 5k onto one of these Cell Juniors, which are 4-drop, will be able to clean up. Which, it's still... I'm not saying that it was impossible to remove these, but you have to use 2 cards to remove it. It's just an issue that these 2 cards draw 2 more cards. So, you know how it goes.
25k swing here. Could technically combo, into 30k here, make it a little bit awkward. Still have not
40,
seen...
50.
Wow. I mean, maybe smelling blood in the water, recognizing, I feel like I should have seen the super combo by now.
And this is an issue with this deck too, is that you have somebody searching off this Android 17, but that 17 can't, Android 18, that Android 18 can't get your super combos. So you do bottom deck a lot of them throughout the game.
Okay, going down to 1, we have the 40k leader swing. We're going into another 5-drop here. Spooky position now, like, because you have to tell yourself, like, if my opponent had the super combos, they probably would have done it by now.
Yeah, I agree. And now here's the ultimate test. Do you have it? No, I have a 10 and a 5. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, how much are you baiting me? I mean, this is big math here. 40k swing doing a ton of work here. We're going to go ahead and self-destruct. We'll get ourselves an additional card. Get rid of your card as well.
Yeah, which will also allow for a draw. I guess we can choose nothing, which I think is what we did.
Yeah, I mean, fair.
Yeah.
Get ourselves a 20k. That 20k represents... Okay, we're going for it. I mean, maybe not the card we would have wanted to draw, but hey, we're going to go ahead. 40k swing here. That by itself is demanding 3 cards. Okay, all right. So we're just going to go ahead and take that value for the 10k combo here. 75, 85, 95, 100, 110, 115, 120, 130, and then go ahead and...
you just drag the card sideways. You know how it works.
160k, no super combos in hand, makes us a very tough position for our Cell player here, getting over to 80, 90, 100.
They're so close.
So close. Literally just a super combo.
Yeah. And you know what you're deciding to not... You're going to save Android 16 for next game in your hand. Be like, all right, you didn't deserve this.
All right, so here we do see the push here, fighting it off. Winner here, forcing us into a game 3 scenario. What we want to see, round 1 repeat into a Cell versus Boo matchup.
Now, this game is a role reversal, right? Each player on a different deck, right? Previously, Boo was able to beat Cell, so we'll have to see if that happens again for this one. But, very tight games. It really comes down to every card in your hand, and it could have gone either way.
Yeah, 100%. I think some tighter draw. Very unfortunate for our Cell player here, where it's just like 4-drop decided to sleep at home and get on the Uber by the time the round started, and then and then no super combo showing up at all. So tough position here for the players, and I think still sequenced it pretty tightly for the most part, right? Like being able to find those inches to be able to make the most out of any situation, even in a game as consistent as Dragon Ball Fusion World, is definitely where we see this kind of skills of both players come together.
For sure. I mean, they, despite all of these kind of misgivings, they're really only like 1 or 2 cards away from surviving that and flipping the script. So I think they played to what the cards they saw, and they still have another chance with it. So hopefully they get a little bit more fortune in this third and final game for this finals here.
Yeah, 100%. We're going to be kind of seeing a repeat of what we saw in game one, where it's just like how many, Frieza style effects, Majin Buu evil style effects am I going to see to be able to make it really annoying for my Cell opponent to keep their stuff on the board. Versus Cell kind of being like, okay, well, how can I push my advantage early to make it awkward for the opponent to kind of deal with me? He's going to rest mode my stuff, but I don't care. I'm KOing my own stuff anyways. So how can I get that early pressure to put him in an uncontrolled position?
Yeah, I agree. So, I think the biggest thing for Majin Buu is that we do have ways to interact with Cell and make it difficult for them to awaken. We have protection on some of our effects, our cards that we don't necessarily see on the other side. We got a full house on our Cell here, 3 Android 18s and 2 Son Goku Daimas. So those can be actually really helpful for helping us awaken in this early game.
Yeah, 100%. Very good early game in terms of just being able to sequence there. On our Buu side, we do see very interesting sequencing of cards here. Very shiny as well. So kudos to our opponents for having the rarities that they do. Do love.
We are just going to play 18 here, get a card draw, and pass. We do, open up for the fact that they can like 1-drop Frieza or Majin Buu Pure Evil, but we're just hoping that they don't have that card.
Yeah, a bit of a slow hand here. Not exactly, I think, the one that Majin Buu wants to see. They did mulligan away their hand and mulligan back into 2 super combos, a 5-drop, a 4-drop. 3-drop Babidi is always a nice thing to see because you only have one in the deck, but in this position, you're not really doing anything. The optimal line really is for you to just play a 1-drop, hit down their 5k, get up in card advantage. So this is a not immediately obvious line here for our players. Like, you could swing, get the card draw, hope you draw into a 1-drop, maybe be able to do something there, but looks like we just draw into another 3-drop. So still not any real live action in our Majin Buu player's hand here.
Yeah, I find it kind of tough sometimes to see Babidi early because even though late game Buu has like a really wide hand, early game you do have to kind of charge most things that aren't 1-drop. So yeah, it's kind of stuck in hand sometimes. But we're just going to do some basic back and forth here. We're going to go 15k into theirs, get a card drop, and down to 7. There's a 1-drop, and consider, I don't know, would you play Son Goku Mini Daima here?
Given that our opponent didn't reveal to us anyway to be able to punish our 1-drop last turn, I'd probably feel pretty comfortable to be in that spot. Because like the biggest punish plays, which they don't, they have to play 17, but there's a world in which it's just like their most punishing plays would cost them the energy marker. So I could feel pretty comfortable just playing it now. But that they didn't play a 1-drop, they are going to likely attack into me then, odds are, this turn, unless they're able to top deck into something that rests. So being able to save that Goku for when I can force the Self-Awaken as opposed to just getting closer to my Self-Awaken, definitely has its own value right there.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And we did draw a 1-drop Cell, so if we want to do the 4-drop combo next turn, we can. And then we're just going to see a 15k from Majin Buu into leader. So we will, again, snap take this likely. We want them to hit us every time we can until we're at 4.
Yep, super combo in hand. And then, this is pretty well lined up for Cell here because still no clean response to not having a way to not attack the opponent leader. We can play the 1-drop Android 18, which will kind of clean up the vanilla right there, so it's not just the cantrip on board, so that we're not just leaving that for like a potential 3-drop play following up. So things definitely going Cell players' way here at the moment in terms of the time that they have to set up, their life totals now, the way that they're able to pressure. It's a pretty good spot to be in.
Yeah, I'm surprised they did charge the Daima Goku. I would be kind of considering playing that next turn. Or this turn, just because I'd feel like it's kind of safe and we get to go down to 5. Because we can still do the Daima and this Android 18, but we're just setting up for a really wide board.
Yeah, I mean, maybe saying that I am so far ahead, you clearly would have done some kind of wrestling shenanigans right now. I'm in a position where I can just free set up my board and then just kind of go slam in with the 4-drop and 5-drop once I'm able to find it. So
Yeah. Now Boo does have the option next turn. If they want to use their marker, they can play their 4-drop. It will rest the entire board, so you do have to be aware of that. But you just have your board is so wide anyways. I don't think you really care at that point.
Yeah, because they're getting rid of like 2 cantrips. Like
yeah. if you only had 2 1-drop 18s on the board, it'd be a scary play. But from this spot, it's just all right.
Yep. Still have the Searcher 18 in our back pocket as well for the next turn. To hopefully be able to dig for the cards that we need here. Draw. I mean, we found our cantrips just a couple turns a little too late here. Very awkward. Like, we can play our cantrips, we can get some draws, but like, what are we doing in terms of trying to set up our game plan here? We're stuck with 3 super combos in hand. We've got a buff Boo. Our late game's pretty squared away. We got the double strikers and stuff, but what do we do? And it looks like 4-drop is the answer to what we're doing.
Yeah, this will finally let us at least pressure some cards on board, right? We don't have the 5-drop in hand, ironically, for Sal now, so we found the 4-drop, but we need to find the 5-drop again, so that's a little tough to see, but...
well, we've got our leader draw, we've got the starter game draw, you could dig for it, but then, of course, that takes you off curve.
Mm-hmm. Depending on... I wouldn't actually mind having... or playing out our 3-drop Android 16 here. We could do a fun little combo where if they leave this 17 alone, which they are immediately not doing, we could play out the 1-drop, the 3-drop, and then get removal on the 30k Boo at the end of turn minus 10k. Yeah, we're going to keep it around. I think that's what we want to do next turn.
Yep, so pretty heads up play, knowing that the opponent kind of has no recourse to what you're about to do.
And again, sometimes some decks have a hard time removing this 4-drops Boo, but Sal is not one of them.
Mm-hmm. Then here we're going to likely see another cheeky 5k, keep the card on board, and lead up to a potentially very explosive next turn.
Yeah, for sure. All right, another 1-drop. Yeah, so I think we do finally... Do you think you finally try to pressure the Boo to awaken at this point?
Well, given the draw...
yeah, the draw does help that decision a little bit. So you now have 2 routes, right? You can either be completely aggressive, where you do just play 4-drop into 5-drop, or you can still be like a little, I'd say, like medium aggressive, where you play the 3-drop and then use the 3-drop and the 4-drop at the end of turn to get the removal of the Boo there.
Yeah, it does look like that's where we're lining it up. Sure.
Yeah. We'll get one more card out of your hand. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I agree with that. We're pretty safe with like 3 Android 18s on board.
Yeah, we found all of them, so good spot for them there. So yeah, 20k to 20k. And it's so tough because, again, you have to get out of these attacks. You know that 40k attacks are coming later in the game, and you don't have any fantastic ways to interact with them.
Yeah, thankfully our hand is huge, but like this is definitely going to do some work at chipping that away. We're 14 cards, go down to now 12 cards if we defend on this, but we know that this is as far as this is going to go, so you could potentially go to 3, although that's not the most comfortable place to be at. But we do have the benefit that opponent, while still being at 6 life, has 7 cards in hand, so there's some board control options we kind of start pressing now that our leader's awakened, to make our life feel at least a little bit better.
Yeah.
Thinking on combo.
Yeah, there's this kind of weird thing too, and both decks can kind of have it sometimes where you're just like, I have so many 10Ks, but I don't have any actual 5Ks, and over comboing with that can feel tough because, yeah, obviously getting the draw off the 1-drop properties would be helpful for using all of our energy in one turn, but it's how it is. Yeah. So we're going to likely pop the 16. Yeah, we're going to give the minus 20k to the 4-drop Boo there. We'll get another one. That's nice.
Yep, and then end of turn proc, go into our 4-drop, and being able to say bye-bye Boo.
Yep, so hit the end of turn there. Does the 1-drop, it draws when it uses this effect, does it not? Or am I just so used to so many other cards drawing?
That everything just says draw when you draw.
It does. Okay, cool.
It does draw.
Good. So we get the minus 10k.
I think the default position of just being like assume a card draws first and foremost.
Yes, yeah.
Is a pretty safe spot to be.
Yep. So we did get the clean removal there. They had to use the energy marker for that 4-drop boost, so they don't get to play a 5-drop this turn either. Fantastic start for Cell, despite not having not being awakened quite yet.
Doing a 4-drop. Rest mode the boards. Kind of keep that Cell locked in down there if we're not able to get rid of it with the swing, which I don't know that we're super. Well, we are incentivized to keep it, in that it lets us go into our 5-drop, but it will not be restanding anytime soon.
Correct. I mean, unironically, if we can just do the same kind of ish play next turn, it'd be kind of nice, because we can do like minus 10k from double Cell Juniors and then another 3-drop. So yeah, we're a little incentivized to keeping it around.
Yeah, but we're starting to get in a position now where Majin Buu's kind of turning us around card advantage wise.
Mm-hmm.
Our 15k leader is really starting to show its power discrepancy now. We can chain a Cell chain here once per turn, but it's like without our leader swing, it's pretty mitigatable by our yellow player here. So kind of tough spot to be in. We do throw some combo onto that to push it to 40k. Pretty
if you're doing that, you
get rid of this.
Yeah, you might as well go to 45k, right?
Well, I think part of this is like a super combo check, right?
Yeah.
No, well, straight to 50. I think that's all she wrote. I am dubious that we're protecting this. So
Yeah,
that would be
as much as you're inclined to. Yeah. Oh no, we've decided to keep it. All right, we're like, I'm so locked into this next turn. I don't see any other play for me, so we'll just let it go.
And now we do know, right? This is a huge indicator also for the Majin Buu player. Like, oh, okay, so that is what you're going for next turn, which does make it a little bit more clarity as to like where you should focus your turn in terms of what to attack on here. So we're gonna get this to 30. We are gonna get this to 40, 45. So another super combo check here. How badly do you want to keep this 4-drop? And looks like that was enough. So we did stabilize hand sizes. Now 8 cards to 6 cards. We did balance it out based on how aggressively we wanted that. But Majin Buu in a pretty good spot here because it's like, yeah, we're at hand parity here, but you're a combo deck that needs combo pieces. Hope you can find them again. Versus I have board control on my leader. Got a 30k just kind of chilling here that you're gonna have to put a lot of work into getting rid of. And I have a lot of defensive cards in hand, whereas you have shown not so much. So it is a turning point for this game where Majin Buu is in a really good spot to be able to start crawling it back from a rather slow and unimpactful start.
Oh, well, we just end up drawing it anyways, so that feels
because
good.
it's the
Hey,
semifinals
we were
difference.
we were owed from last game, all right?
True.
I do think like the Android 16 could have been the play for this one too, where we just kind of do the same play. We'd have to kind of hard attack into this 4-drop, but we could do something where like, oh, we play another 1-drop 17, we make it just a 5k, right? But I think these plays are fine as well.
So then likely swing on the leader here. If so, do we combo the 5 or do we just leave it on board? Looks like we're just gonna leave it on board here. 25k on the lead, and now we're in a position where we take this, or we need to dump super combos, or potentially like 2 10ks, or 2 5ks. So a bit of an awkward combo hand here for our Buu player. They can survive most hits, but not in a way that's super comfortable to do so as we go into this 5-drop.
All right, so we do get to do our loop again. Now, again, with these Cell Juniors, we have some opportunities for some fun plays here. So I think we do go 30k to their leader, and then we get to decide if we want to how many Cell Juniors we want to force from hand.
I guess self-destruct is technically also an option, but
it does have KO protection, so you can't do that.
True. Yeah, it's the right.
Yeah, because that's the difference between the Royal Defense Force last night. It just gives them minus 20. Yeah. All right. It's tough because okay, we're actually just gonna let it pass. Okay. I'd be somewhat tempted to try to chip out this 5-drop with the Cell Juniors, but at the same point, that's more cards that they can attack into us for, and we'd rather them just hit our face, you know?
Right. Yeah, I mean, we are still at 6 life. Could be a big turning point when we get into a position of being at 4 low life, but I think Majin Buu very much wants to be comfortable here hanging out at this spot at the moment as they try to establish a board that can't go answered and then start turning cards sideways from that point on.
Yeah. And I can't remember if it was this game. I think it was the previous game. There are opportunities for some 2-drop Android 18s to come out that do take a life on play, but I don't think there's any in our drop right now in rotation for that.
Yeah, I believe we have not seen any of those at this point in time. We're going to start with the 30k swing on the Cell, demanding a card here.
Yeah, we're just going to end up taking it. We're going to use it to play another Android 18 from our drop here. I think you can only play 18s. You can't play 17s. So we're just going to draw another super combo. Not too shabby.
Pretty good spot to be in on the back foot here as we see the 5-drop coming down. And now we're going to be able to play another 4-drop here. Rest mode both of those cards. We're going to be able to clear out your board. Pretty good spot to be in for a Majin Buu player to be able to draw a card. Draw ourselves into a mismatch super combos. What are we doing here?
No, that's just
that's the one drop. That's the one drop.
Yeah, sorry. Right. the ones in the 7 in the font. Yeah, they can be. They can be saved. Player's been saved. We're.
All right, so clean board here. 4-drop, doing some nasty work, especially as 30Ks. They're not the easiest thing to be able to get rid of in multiples here without the punish.
And we were kind of thinking on this because we can, unironically, we can pressure this double striker pretty easily next turn too. So we will see there. There still can be some, pressure from the other side as well. Yeah, because unless the only way you get I think super punished here is if they end up having the 2-cost take a life Android 18. If they don't have this, you can kind of moderately safely get them down to 5.
Yeah, because if they spend some of their time self-awakening, it's a bit of a tempo loss at that point.
Mm-hmm.
The question is just okay, well, my hand is 2 super combos. I have another double striker. So assuming I can, I might lose 1 double striker going into the next turn, I'm in a position to still be able to swing for, 2 30Ks, my lead swing, a double striker there. So I feel like we might be lining ourselves up to set up for a win in 2 or 3 turns as opposed to the next turn. So I have to see how much we value getting in that chip damage right now as opposed to the additional card that'll give the Cell player.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, we are going for turn there, deciding just to keep them at 6. Again, we can apply some pressure. The hand size for Buu is, I think, the tiniest we've really seen all day. Only 7 cards in there, but they're pretty good cards. We're going to charge the Androids 16, which I think we could have used to apply a little bit more pressure here, but we're just going to use the 1-drop. Look at the top 3 of our deck for an Android card. And we will be able to get rid of the 5-drop with this too. With a self-destruct down the way, yeah.
So down to 30 that goes. Going into the 4-drop now. We do have the 1 standing energy to be able to do that afterwards. Fetch a something once we go into the 5-drop. But we'll start off here with the 25k swing. Again, no Asa. I mean, you could combo the Buu here for 10k here, but awkward combo cards were Buu's not in a super combo position. They have a board, but the cards in hand they really want to save for kind of more pivotal endgame swings. So this chip away pressure here from Cell is surprisingly very annoying in that it's forcing quote unquote the best defensive cards out of Buu's hand earlier than what he would want. Because we're just sitting on a 0 and a bunch of 5Ks. which kind of line up poorly with these 30k swings.
Yeah, and we can do. We can have like a little bit of fun here, where we could do something like use Cell Junior, make the 4-drop boo 15k, and then like self-destruct it, and then like attack leader into like there. We can do like a lot of great interaction plays here, I think.
So thinking on pickup here. And we're gonna go for card draw. So 5k combo here. Swing on the leader for 30k, demanding a super combo at this point.
And we do have one, but again, 5 cards in hand is such a low hand size here.
Very tough spot to be, especially when your opponent's at 6, right? Like at some point in time, you're gonna have to start turning cards sideways, and you're just not in a position to do so. Let's see if we go ahead and chip over to a cheeky 5. So there's the 10. Being able to get to 25. That's super awkward with this hand, man.
It is, and we do get to then play it off of our life if we self-destruct our Cell, which we likely will. So, Cell's been getting so much pressure on this. Even just a 6-life leader right now, Boo's been in a tough spot all game.
Yeah, having to give away 2 cards here is such a feels bad. Especially since like these are like some notable cards that you would probably want to have in your back pocket going into the next turn, whether it's the Bibbidi to be able to dig you into something you need, or be it the 3-drop boo, or you could just toss a super combo. But man, does that feel bad into a 5k swing.
It feels so bad, yeah. I hardly ever see the front side animation, so I do get happy that we do get to showcase that today. So another 5k out of hand. And then likely the self-destruct here.
Yep. Let's get ourselves another card, get rid of the double striker off the board. And pretty cozy position here. It's like, all right, well, you want your card draw. You're going to have to attack into me.
Yes.
Could be a world here where Majin Boost tries to, like, does attack with lead, but then plays it still a little bit safe. In as far as being able to play, like, Cantrip or Searcher into 3-drop boo. Ooh, self-awaken here. Very nice.
And then, yeah, I think, just 20. I would be somewhat tempted for another 30k.
Yeah.
Because at this point, it would be super combo or, oh, no, they're going down. All right.
Okay, yeah. All right. Next turn is the turn. Okay, so going 6 potential energy here, but might want to keep the hand combo as much as possible. We've got the leader swing. We've got 2 30k swings, a 5-drop, potentially no buff boo here, so only the 3-drop available. All right.
We are at 6. We get another double striker, and we charge the blocker. So we just decide, we have to go for game. It seems like they don't seem to have another option out of it, and at this point I'd probably get out of a 20k. As much as I want to be awakened as much as possible. It's clear to me that they're going in for, but no, we don't care. We're gonna go down to 4.
Another Cell Junior here, and now 30k swing here. Gonna awaken. Only have 1 super combo in hand, so not the most defensive. We got a lot of 10ks to work with.
Yeah, that should be a given, I think. All right, taking the next one.
And are you taking this one? You can't, right?
I don't think you can. No, you have to be kind of worried about those double strikes.
Yeah, I think you are inviting very specific demons here if you go ahead and go down to 2. But I mean, look, the opponent's down to 8 cards. If they are playing the double strike blue, they go down to 7 cards. I've got 1 super combo. The math maybe just adds up here. So we do go into the 1-drop. We're going to be digging into some more combo power here. Maybe hopefully trying to find buff blue to be able to help us close out if we need it. But we could just go into 3-drop. A lot of 0 combos, which is not a lovely place to be.
I think our play is, we play 3-drop. We use it to pop the 4-drop. We get a draw 2, and we just turn everything sideways.
Hope we get cards there. Go in. Got into another super combo. We have a 0 we can toss here from Cell's position, so that feels perfectly fine. That actually cost us nothing. Drew into another 0. Unfortunately, our blue player here did not draw into all that useful cards here, but we are going to go in here for 70, 80, 90. Gonna go ahead and count our
90,
zeros because why
90,
not?
90.
All right, so here we go. Defensive super combos here. 90k swing, no cards in hand. Both players know what's going on. We got the 70k, 80k. We just need 2 more cards here. 90k, and then the 95 here, clearing it and securing the sell player spot here for the victory.
They're going to be the winner on the Group B Section 2 finals there. And that is going to be it. So that is going to be our coverage from there. Really close games again for Dragon Ball Fusion World, especially since you have to use like every card in your hand at the end of it. It gets, you know, very exciting. That last minute is great. Counting up the numbers, right? You get to 5 digits, 6 digits very easily. And that's going to be our coverage for today.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, these have been excellent, and it's not the last time that we're going to be seeing these players. So, of course, you guys are definitely going to want to check out Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour 26. Ticket sales are going live January 25th. You won't want to miss it. This is the greatest Dragon Ball celebration of the year, where we will be crowning world champions across all of our games, including Dragon Ball Masters, and of course, Dragon Ball Fusion World, both on the physical and digital side. You guys will not want to miss all of the action.
No, definitely not. So that, again, is going to be our broadcast. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, watching these games with us. They were a lot of fun. I'm happy you were able to watch these. We do have some more events to finish off the year. We do have the North American finals coming up too, so that should be exciting. But that's going to be our coverage for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you at the next one.
Take care.